It is game day. A10 play from Virginia is indeed a go from the WFUV studios here in the Bronx of Fordham University. I am Adi Dembele, and to my left, what a treat, Lou Orlando. Haven't been on air with you in a while.
What a treat. It's a treat to be with you, Monty.
I mean,
Come on.
Go back to freshman year, and then we build up, and I have Lou Orlando next to me. And Lou, you know what time it is. The women's team, the Fordham Rams, they head down all the way to Virginia, and they face a familiar foe, the Duquesne Dukes, who employ one Meg McConnell. We talked about her ad nauseum yesterday. Myself, Kurt Sipple, and Benjamin Oppenheimer. She leads the Duquesne Dukes in pretty much every single statistical category, leads the A10 in scoring 18.8 points per game coming into this matchup against the number 8 ranked Fordham Rams. I believe her Dukes sit at number 9. Head coach Bridgette Mitchell, you heard her in the coaches sound with Tucker Austin and Christopher Carrino up there in Virginia talking about how though it's a familiar face you're playing, you know what they like to do. It's sometimes hard to kind of figure them out for a third time in a row, and especially when you employ someone like a Meg McConnell, you have a tall task ahead of you.
I think it's scary because, yes, you swept the regular season series, absolutely. That also means that Duquesne's gotten 2 good looks at you, and especially that fight in Pittsburgh that came down to an Irene Mora game winner. Yeah. They've gotten a close look at you and what you do well, and now they've had 2 full games of game tape that they can go over, look at, and make adjustments, and there's no denying the talent that they have on their team. And when you have a game breaker like Meg McConnell, who forced 9 turnovers in a loss against Fordham, she's someone that just by herself can completely disrupt the game and win a game for her team. Yeah, she's a game changer.
A game changer in every single sense of the word. Something I was talking with other people. They're like, why isn't she playing for a bigger, at a bigger basketball stature, if you will? She's here at mid-major. She just loves Pittsburgh basketball, and she embodies it. Basketball royalty, TJ McConnell. Sister, if I'm not mistaken there. She plays every single bit of him, the nuisance on the defensive end, and she could score the basketball there. But Fordham, it's the old stomping grounds. It's what they're going to have to do. It's their defense, right? Every time they allow less than 53 points, their money, their gravy all the way. But kind of feel like the offense lags behind sometimes. I was asked by a Dayton interviewer, sometimes what happens with the Fordham offense? And sometimes, Lou, I don't know from your perspective, but what I came up with is sometimes the basket just seems super small.
Yeah, I think this is, for whatever reason, Rams offensively. And coming in, they weren't supposed to be a powerhouse. They've had some nice role players step up in big ways, but at their core, they're led by Donaldson and Moore. Those are the 2 that's going to make this engine run. And what's dangerous about this Duquesne team is they are one of, if not the best defenses in the A10. They're going to force a ton of turnovers. It's going to be led by McConnell and her guard play, but they're aggressive both defensively and offensively. So, listen, it's the 8-9 matchup. Historically, that's one of the closest games come tournament time, and I think you can expect nothing different today.
Yeah, nothing different at all. You want to add a third name to that, Taylor Donaldson, Irene Murua. Shout out to Shea Harris, who stepped up big time here, but it's going to take all hands on deck. Strength in numbers is going to be the name of the game throughout tournament time. But that's enough talk. The only thing that is final is the scoreboard. That's going to do it here for myself, Madi Dembele, and Lou Orlando. We have Khalif Stein behind the boards, and we're going to kick it back to the boys at Virginia. Christopher Carrino and Tucker Austin, take it away.
The Fordham Rams, off a bye, now find themselves in the second round of the A10 women's basketball tournament. Their opponent, the Dukes of Duquesne. Fordham is undefeated on the year against the Dukes, with both being very close affairs. The Rams winning the 2 matchups by a combined 5 points. Duquesne is led by their star senior guard, Megan McConnell. McConnell has had a stellar season, garnering a ton of accolades. McConnell is a top 5 finisher for the Becky Hammond Award and has also been awarded the A10's Defensive Player of the Year. Fordham is also led by all A10 talent in Taylor Donaldson. TD awarded the honor for a 2nd season in a row in the conference. 2 teams who have had their fair share of ups and downs this season can make up for all of that in the most wonderful time of the year, the postseason. It's the second round of the A10 women's basketball tournament down in Virginia. The 9-seeded Duquesne Dukes and the 8-seed, the Fordham Rams. And it's all next on WFUV Sports.
Welcome to Henrico, Virginia, the setting for the A10 Women's Basketball Championship. We take you live to this second round matchup between the 8 and 9 seeds, the Dukes of Duquesne and the Fordham Rams. I'm Chris Carrino with WFUV Sports, joined by my partner, Tucker Austin Tucker. This Fordham team is no stranger to the Dukes this season, winning both of their previous head-to-head matchups. What are the keys to the Rams doing it again, this time in postseason play?
Well, first off, Chris, I am so pumped to be here. It's tournament basketball time, baby. But I have 3 keys to the game today for the Fordham Rams. It's TD takeover time. Taylor Donaldson is an absolute microwave, and we know what she can bring to the court on both ends of the floor. So it'll be big for Taylor Donaldson to take over for the Fordham Rams in this game. Hunger is my second key. This is the third matchup between Duquesne and Fordham. Both of these teams are really, really hungry for a win. Whoever's hungrier is going to come out on top in this one. And Fordham just needs to play their game, Stay strong under the basket as they've been all year. They rank nationally in rebounds, and they just need to minimize unforced errors on the offensive side. That was really their Achilles heel against Davidson last time out. But if they can limit the turnovers that aren't forced by the defense, then Fordham will come away with the win today.
Limiting mistakes, a big key for Coach Bridgette Mitchell and her team. We got a chance to catch up with Coach Bridgette Mitchell of the Fordham Rams before the game. Take a listen.
Second round of the A10 tournament, Fordham and Duquesne here with head coach, Coach Bridgette Mitchell. Coach, heading into this one, Duquesne, a team you're very familiar with this season. A lot has gone well for them this season. What has gone well for them this season? What have they done well this season? How are you guys going to try and stop that today?
Yeah, I think that, it's really tough to play a team 3 times. But the best part about that is you both know each other really well. So it's like, what players are going to make plays and who's going to get stops on the defensive end. And so I think when you look at their team and how well-rounded they are and how much they love to shoot 3, that's our number one key in terms of defending the three-point line. And then we got to take advantage where we have those advantages in our size and the post, and our physicality, and then how fast we like to get up and down the court.
And Coach, after team dinner last night, you got a chance to congratulate Taylor Donaldson on her all-conference selection, but you also took a chance to acknowledge your team's cohesiveness that allowed TD to shine the way that she has this year. So can you speak to the cohesiveness of your team a little bit?
Yeah, I think that this is the time where you want your team to come together, and we've been showing and building towards that this whole time. And so it's nice to see her get that acknowledgement because of the work that her teammates have put in, because of the way that she's been leading us, and that's what got us here today at the 8th seed, right? And so I think that that's something that speaks volumes for how committed our team was to getting to know each other better, working on our chemistry so that we can become a better team.
And, Coach, we've been talking about it since the beginning of the season. Since the very first game, we've talked about character and identity for this team. What do those things mean to you now? What are they kind of in the context of now heading into the postseason? Yeah,
because now in postseason, you're not doing anything new. Right, you're becoming who you've been working to be,
right?
And so now it's nice to see us have our intensity and our locked inness in terms of being gritty on the defensive end. We talked all season about winning 50-50 plays, 50-50 balls, right, and having a sense of urgency. And so I'm looking forward to seeing us do that throughout the duration of the tournament.
Absolutely.
And Duquesne's Megan McConnell, of course, also had plenty of recognition this year. Particularly, she took home the A10 Defensive Player of the Year this year. So what kind of attack does your team have to bring to get by McConnell?
Yeah, she's very disruptive. She was everything for her team. There were so many games where she's had triple doubles and, leading her team in all of their stats. So she's a very important piece to their team. Our responsibility is to take her out of her offensive game. And when she's guarding you, take care of the ball, right? And so that's something that we're going to really look to do. But definitely congratulations to her and all that she's done and been for her team. And it's going to be a great challenge for us to take care of the ball, but also be aggressive, right? Even though she's a great defender, she's susceptible to getting into foul trouble like everyone else. So we're going to be in attack mode.
Thank you, Coach. Duquesne and Fordham next on WFUV Sports.
Back here in Virginia, down here in Virginia, about to get set for tip-off. One of the many perks of tournament play. Got to see both hype video packages for both respective schools. Usually only see that if you're home, but it's tournament time, and you can just feel the energy in the building, Tucker.
I've been feeling the energy for the past 2 days, Chris. It's so exciting to be down here. Every team in the A10 in the same city getting ready to throw down. We've already had multiple games yesterday, this being the first game of the day today, and we're just about ready to roll.
It's going to be Rose Nelson and Gabby Hutchinson in the tip-off spot, ready to get this one started. Fordham in white jerseys, their home white with maroon trim, and the Duquesne Dukes in dark blue with red trim. And we're about set to get this one started off. McConnell, Kiyaku, Hutchinson, Brown, and Matic. That's the starting five for Duquesne. Nelson, Mora, Veljovic, Davis, and of course the masked Taylor Donaldson in there for the Rams. Taylor Donaldson receiving all A10 third team honors for the Rams. That one goes right to Duquesne. They're off in transition quickly, and a finish from Journey Kiyaku right off the tip from the tip-off in Fordham, and Duquesne with a quick 2-0 lead. Fordham starting their offense early. Rams coming off a loss at Davidson last week to end their regular season. Mass Donaldson has it on the right wing, inside to Rose Nelson, right block. Tried to pass it along the baseline. It's intercepted. Matic going the other way for Duquesne. Hutchinson, the pit transfer at the right wing, inside right block. Brown facing up Nelson, then backing into her. Now back still to the rim. Backdoor pass to a cutting McConnell, who scores! Plus the foul, Megan McConnell. Duquesne, the Dukes, out and running early. And their engine, Megan McConnell, getting 2, plus a chance at the line for 3. 4-0 Duquesne very early in this matchup.
Megan McConnell doing exactly what she's been doing all season for the Duquesne Dukes. I mean, she led the A10 in scoring. That pretty much tells you all you need to know. 18.8 points per game as she knocks down the first one. She also led the A10 in assists with 5.2 per game and steals 4.0.
18.8 points per game, leading the A10 whole boatload. She had, along with her Defensive Player of the Year accolades she garnered this year from the A10, she had 9 steals in their last matchup against Fordham. Veljovic, right corner 3, no good, way over the rim. A bit of fighting on the baseline for the loose ball. It'll stay on this side with the Rams.
You like to see Morwa there under the basket, going to war for the rebound. Fordham's going to need to do that all night, and Morwa will be the primary player doing so for the Rams.
Davis taking it out on the left side of the baseline, right corner. Donaldson takes an open 3, no good off back iron. Another fight on the glass. Eventually Hutchinson has it for Duquesne. Duquesne going the other way. The Dukes, top of the key. Hutchinson, spot up 3, no good, off front rim. Moore's there on the defensive glass. Fordham now has it. Taya Davis slowly bringing it up across half court, tightly contesting McConnell. Now cutting to the left wing. Still at the left wing, stopping, back out Rose Nelson. Pass directly to her right to Mora. Mora, hand off to Donaldson, passing to the rolling Mora. Mora stuck at the right block, trying to get inside, out to Davis, pump fake, drive to the free throw line, tried to get a bounce pass inside. It's hit off a foot. It'll stay on this side with Fordham with a kick ball violation. Fordham still holding on to the ball, taking every chance with the ball to its greatest extent.
Yeah, Fordham trying to find the holes in the Duquesne defense there. Morwa got mobbed a little bit at the right block. And I thought for a second they weren't going to call the kick ball there, Chris. I got kind of worried, but kick ball does come out, and Fordham gets a reset shot clock.
It's Davis inbounding on the right baseline to Shea Harris. Right corner, subbing into this game quickly along with Kayla Berry. Some quick changes for the Rams. Taya Davis at the left elbow, takes a floater, middle of the lane, no good. Kayla Berry there on the offensive glass. Back out Taya Davis. Fordham still has it. Back to Mora. Mora right corner, good on the mid-ranger. Arene Mora getting Fordham on the scoreboard. It's 5-2, 7:54 to go in this first quarter.
And Mora was showing off that shooting percentage. She was second in the A10 this season in terms of shooting, 55% from the field goal.
Kiyaku, top of the key jumper, is good, going left around a Brown screen and getting it to go. A 5-0 lead still for Duquesne. Taylor Donaldson driving quickly, takes a layup, no good from the left block. Second chance for Mora is good. This Fordham team nationally known for their offensive glass prowess, and they're showing it there. McConnell working out of the left wing at the top of the key. Hutchinson facing up Berry on the right wing. Kiyaku guarded by Donaldson. Duquesne moving the ball around. In the left corner, nobody there on the pass from Hutchinson right to the Fordham bench. It's going to be a turnover for Duquesne.
Fordham working their way back into this game. They went down 5-0 early, but it's a 3-point game now.
7-4 Duquesne, 7 minutes to go in this first quarter. Hot start for Duquesne, starting out 5-0. The Rams have settled in since then. Taya Davis, top of the key, looking backdoor for Taylor Donaldson. That ball ricochets out of bounds. It'll be Duquesne ball, turnover Rams.
And there's that unforced error I talked about before this game started, trying to get the pass inside, but it gets away without a Duquesne player touching it.
Maybe top of the key for McConnell. She'll take the long jumper, no good off front rim. Rebound tracked down by Kyaku. She sprinted there. She has it. She's going to go straight off a Brown screen. Stopping at the free throw line. Pass to a rolling Brown. Another bounce pass. It's broken up. It'll stay on this side with Duquesne. Good ball movement from the Dukes offense.
Yeah, and good tenacity there by Journey Kyaku. Like you said, sprinting from the baseline up to the three-point line to get control of the basketball. And then it was a nice pass inside, too, from Keandra Brown, but Taylor Donaldson with the breakup.
McConnell, right wing. Driving right, now at the baseline, guarded by the much bigger Mora. Right-left crossover, back out Kyaku. She thinks about it, then drives. Drives to the left side of the lane, and it's a foul on the ground. Kayla Berry picking up the foul. Not what you wanted to see there after a good defensive possession, but it'll stay on the baseline with Duquesne.
Yeah, Kayla Berry picks up a push there. The referee explaining her position. And it was one of those cases where we've seen Fordham take a couple of travels on plays like that this season, but this time it winds up a push.
McConnell out to Brown, taking the spot up three. It's good! Keandra Brown taking the straight on three, and that's got Duquesne out to a 6-point lead. Taya Davis splitting immediately to the left wing. Giving a lot of space to Mora, straight on. Dribble handoff, Donaldson, right wing. Picking up the double team, pass into Mora, stolen. From behind her, McConnell has it. Now moving for Duquesne. In the half court, left corner three. No good. Off the side of the rim, Faith Walker doesn't get that one to go. And now Fordham's coming with speed the other way. Donaldson no good on her floater. Ball's on the ground. It's a fight for the loose ball. And it's going to be a foul on Fordham on the ground. Duquesne will have possession.
And I think that's Taylor Donaldson picking up that foul on the ground, battling for her own rebound. It was a nice job by Taylor to bring down the rebound on the defensive end and then turn up the pace, go in the other direction, but she couldn't get the two to go.
And we saw Megan McConnell steal there on the defensive end for Duquesne. She's second in the nation in steals and steals per game. She's had 11 games this season with 5 steals or more. Her last matchup against Fordham, she had 9 steals. She has made a measurable impact on the defensive end for this Dukes team. She has it, driving to the right side of the lane, out top of the key. Hutchinson's three, it's good! The forwards for Duquesne letting it up from long range, and they've got Duquesne out to a 9-point lead. 5.5 to go in this first quarter.
Full court press here from Duquesne, trying to put the pressure on.
And another tip out there from McConnell. McConnell gets Duquesne the possession once again. She'll take a spot up three. No good from the right wing. Another fight on the glass. Blackford's there. The freshman for Duquesne. Passes it to Walker. Walker tries to get it downstairs. She does. And the finish on the other end by Kuda.
That is an absolutely unbelievable play. Faith Walker just bounced the ball off of Shea Harris's head, and it manages to find a player under the basket for the two.
Duquesne Dukes now with a double-digit lead, 15-4. Taya Davis has it, top of the key. 4:46 to go in this first quarter. Left to right crossover from Davis. McConnell is there in the way to pick up the foul. McConnell not happy about it with her hands on her hips. Nonetheless, a Duquesne foul on the floor and a timeout preceding that as well.
Well, it's been a tough opening first 5 minutes for the Fordham Rams. Duquesne came out swinging early. Fordham did a good job to battle back, though, after the first couple of minutes, but then Duquesne has gone on another run here, 8-0 run over the last minute 38. And for the Fordham Rams, they really just need a bucket right now. And, Taylor Donaldson we've seen come down the floor a couple of times and get her shots, get her looks, but they haven't fallen yet for her. Of course, I mentioned
that's a lot of where their success hinges on.
Yeah, and like I said before the game, like Taylor Donaldson, it's takeover time for TD, and right now all 4 of Fordham's points have come from Rene Morwa, who not for lack of production there. Morwa certainly has been one of Fordham's better scorers alongside Donaldson, but A10 tournament time, it all matters now. Like, regular season doesn't matter. What happens right now in this game is what matters. And Taylor Donaldson and Irene Morwa need to lead Fordham to the promised land.
Right, and we've talked about the history between these two teams this season. Fordham coming up on top on both of the matchups between these two teams this season. Only a combined 5 points of victory in those two games. Tucker, there has to be some sort of hunger for a team that you lose to twice in the regular season by only a combined 5 points. We've seen that certain type of hunger early in this game with the Duquesne Dukes.
Oh, certainly. The Dukes came out wanting a fight today, and I've talked to the coaches over the past couple of days that we've been down here, the Fordham coaches, that is, and I've been asking them, like, how hungry do you think this Duquesne team is? You know, they've lost to Fordham twice this year, at home and on the road. They get a third crack at the Fordham Rams now, and they're certainly taking advantage of that opportunity. Up by 11, a little over halfway, I should say, through the first quarter. Fordham, though, needs to find their hunger quick before this game gets a little too out of hand.
A little too out of hand. Fordham cannot afford that, especially in the early installment in this game that we are. 4:42 to go in this first quarter. Fordham with a double-digit deficit already, 15-4. It has been an interesting start, a fast-paced start for both teams. Duquesne showing that hunger, as we just said, but also showing efficiency. They've been good from deep, the three-point line. They've been able to be efficient, not turning over the ball too much. On the defensive side for Fordham, they excel on the board, specifically rebounding the ball. They are in total rebounds and offensive rebounds on the top of almost every A10 statistic. When you combine that with the way they're able to force turnovers on the defensive end, it should be able to make them up some ground.
Yeah, through the first 5 minutes, Duquesne only has one turnover. Yeah. Meanwhile, Fordham Rams have gathered 4 turnovers in the opening frame now, and you know that's not sustainable long term. But obviously there is plenty of game left, so if the Fordham Rams can start to clean things up a little bit on the offensive end, although also credit to Duquesne because they brought the press, the full court press. I was a little surprised. It's normally Fordham's move when they go up by a significant number, but Duquesne brought the press out and forced a turnover.
Irene Morwa with all 4 points for the Rams right now. Halfway through this first quarter, Taya Davis at the right elbow, driving inside, stopping at the right block, missing off the rim, and it's going to be Duquesne quickly moving the other way. McConnell looking cross court, decides against it. Pass to Hutcherson, gets it right back. McConnell driving from the left wing, inside and finishing at the rim. Almost untouched Tucker. Duquesne with a 13-point lead, 17-4, 4:15 to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, Megan McConnell looking really smooth out there, just like her older brother TJ.
Fordham Coach Bridgette Mitchell going with some changes in the lineup. Camila DePool out there taking a long right wing three, no good off the left side of the rim. DePool subbing in there after the last time out. Blackford stopping at the free throw line for Duquesne. Walker at the left wing, dribble handoff McConnell, same spot, driving from the left wing to the right corner. Hutchinson's three, it's good! Nothing but nylon for the pit transfer, Gabby Hutchinson. She's got Duquesne up to a 16-point lead, 20-4, 3:39 to go in this first quarter. It's been an offensive barrage from the Dukes. Rose Nelson, top of the arc in the left corner to DePool, back up top. Davis getting it inside to Mora. Mora guarded by Hutchinson, receiving a double team. Out to Davis, wide open, top of the key three, no good. Rebound on the offensive glass by Shea Harris on the baseline. Takes the mid-ranger. No good, air ball over the entire rim. And this Fordham team looking all out of sorts right now.
Just got to find the bottom of the hoop right now. Fordham just needs a bucket in a bad way.
McConnell. From the left corner out to Faith Walker, top of the key, driving through the left side of the lane, blocked at the rim by Rose Nelson. Rose Nelson giving this team a bit of an energy jolt, a one they definitely needed.
Maybe a little shift of momentum there from Rose Nelson on the block. Duquesne still will maintain possession of the basketball, though.
Going to be Irene Mora and Taya Davis subbing out of this one. That's in favor of course, Taylor Donaldson, the masked Taylor Donaldson, and Emma Wilson-Saltos. Top of the key, Matic three off the inbound is good! The Duquesne Dukes are unconscious from long range, 23-4. a 19-point lead with 2:46 to go in the first quarter for the Duquesne Dukes.
And Fordham worked on perimeter defense in their walkthroughs and film study, but still just not working out so far.
No good on the mid-range from Shea Harris. Offensive rebound from Giles Jones. Can't get the putback to go. Gets another putback. No good on the shot, but she'll go to the line for 2.
It's amazing. The Rams made so sure to make sure they get their switches right and make sure that the perimeter is always guarded. Camilla DePool out there, probably Fordham's best or one of Fordham's best perimeter defenders. And they just need to stop the bleeding from the three-point line right now, because that's how Duquesne is building their lead.
Duquesne building their lead is right. 50% from the three-point line, 4 of 8, 23 points in this first quarter, still with 2.5 to go, as Giles Jones is good there from the free throw line. She's had some of her trouble there from the charity stripe throughout this season. She's been so good at getting there. Just converting these points has been a bit of a challenge. Nice to see one get through there, but no good on the second. An offensive rebound by Veljevic. Fordham once again has it. 23-5, 18-point deficit for the Rams. Dribble handoff out of the right wing to Donaldson. Donaldson stopping at the free throw line. No good on the floater. Air ball. And the offensive glass opportunity wasted away with the ball going out of bounds. And it's going to go back to Duquesne.
Well, Wilson Saltos is 1 of 2 free throws. Broke a 16-0 run for the Duquesne Dukes over the last 3 minutes 59 of game time.
Brown out of the left corner. Quick three. It's good! Brown and the Duquesne Dukes, zero hesitation on their long-range shots right now. They're out to a 21-point lead, 26-5, just under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Maybe the biggest offensive explosion we've seen from any Fordham opponent all season long. Camilla DePool no good on her layup at the rim, driving through the left side of the lane. And whistle there going to go against Fordham. Megan McConnell pumped up after the play, clapping her hands and yelling. This Duquesne team, Tucker, seemingly with all the momentum in the world.
Yeah, all the momentum in the world is absolutely right. I'm surprised we can still see in this gym, Chris, because Duquesne is absolutely shooting the lights out. But for Fordham, they still need a bucket. At this point, they might need a couple of threes to go down in the start of the first quarter. Just got to slow down Duquesne first.
Matic, top of the key. Kieku driving through the left side of the lane and finishing under heavy traffic from the guarding Rose Nelson. Duquesne Dukes. Giles Jones inside quickly on the long outlet pass from Taylor Donaldson. No good. McConnell and Duquesne coming the other way with speed. Kieku driving from the right lane, blocked at the rim by Nelson. A fight for it on the glass. Eventually, it's touched by Giles Jones on the baseline. It's going to stay with the Dukes.
Keandra Brown showing all the energy for Duquesne in this one. She's been very emotive on the court, and rightfully so. She's knocked down a couple of big threes. Currently with 6 of Duquesne's points.
McConnell, top of the key, around the world to Kieku, right corner. Top of the key, McConnell. McConnell inside to Brown, has it at the left elbow. Yet to dribble, pass out McConnell, top of the key through the right side of the lane, puts up a shot under heavy traffic, no good, and the Rams get a stop. They're going the other way offensively. Taya Davis going through the right side of the lane, Euro stepping in the lane, no good at the rim. It'll stay on this side with the Rams off of Duquesne, and Fordham getting another offensive opportunity.
I'm looking at this clock right now, Chris. It says 40.6 seconds to go in the first quarter, and then I look at Fordham's score, and it's 5, and it's a little shocking at the moment.
Only 5 points for this Rams team. 4 of those coming from a Renee Mora field goals. One of them a Giles Jones free throw. Out to Taya Davis, left wing, has trouble with it, has to regather it, half court. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Left wing pump fake from Rose Nelson. Driving inside, no good at the rim. Giles Jones trying to get the offensive board. Veljevic eventually tracks it down, drives inside immediately, no good on her shot, gets her own offensive rebound back. What effort, driving inside again, and a blocking foul. Keandra Brown picking up the foul for the Dukes. It'll be Fordham getting an opportunity on the offensive end. Veljevic with just out of this world effort there.
Yeah, and it's needed at this point. Fordham needs to put as much effort as possible because in tournament time, it's win or go home.
It's going to be taken out on the right baseline under the basket by Taylor Donaldson, garnering that black mask after her facial injury. Passing to Taya Davis, right corner to Kayla Berry at the right elbow, at the free throw line now. Back out right corner, Taya Davis, right to left dribble. Pass inside Kayla Berry at the left block, puts up a shot and gets it to go under heavy traffic, and that's how this first quarter will end. Fordham with a disastrous first quarter, ending it on a high note, 28-7 Duquesne lead after one here in Henrico, Virginia. Tucker, what a first quarter performance from the Dukes.
Yeah, I gotta say, both ends of the floor for Duquesne have been absolutely flawless in this game, doing whatever they want on the offensive end, getting plenty of looks from three and knocking most of them down. As a team, they're shooting 5 of 9 from beyond the arc. And also defensively, they have been smothering the Fordham Rams. On that last possession with Veljovic in the corner, she couldn't even get a shot up. She was double-teamed. It got blocked. She had to go get her own rebound, and she still couldn't get it up because of Brown's blocking foul underneath. She tried to draw a charge. So just incredible smothering defense from Duquesne, paired with near-perfect execution on the offensive end, is the reason why Fordham trails by 21 points after 10 minutes.
This Duquesne team 5 for 9 from the three-point line. Fordham 0 for 4 from the three-point line. It seemed that some installments of that first quarter, Duquesne simply couldn't miss. Already 10 minutes for McConnell playing that entire first quarter. She leads this team in minutes, only player to start every game of this Duke season. She already has 6 points, joined by Kiyaku. She's got 6. A backcourt with 11 points after a first quarter. That's a big jolt offensively, and especially with you said, with the smothering defense defensively, it's just been a good combination, and it's kind of left Fordham almost drowning or out to dry here.
Yeah, I'd say so. There's not many ways to describe what we just watched in the first quarter. We've got our studio crew back in the Bronx texting us here during the break. Lou said it might be a record low points in a quarter for the Fordham Rams.
And speaking of that radio crew, we're going to send it to the studios in the Bronx, not Brooklyn, in the wrong borough, in the Bronx, back at the Rose Hill studio. Lou Orlando on the one-on-one scoreboard. Take it over, Lou.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In the Bronx, indeed. I am from Brooklyn, though, so Carrino was on to something. Number 8 Fordham, number 9 Duquesne. Winner goes on to the quarterfinals to play number 1 Richmond. Let's take a look at Stanford women's basketball. It's their first season without Hall of Fame coach Tara Vanderveer, and the Cardinal fall in round 1 of the ACC tournament, a 17-point loss to Clemson. Stanford, poised to miss the NCAA tournament for the first time in 4 decades, would snap a 37-year stretch of making March Madness. That is an insane run by the Cardinal. A10 men's championship is next week. Fordham Rams drop their home finale in a 27-point blowout to GW. That extends their losing streak to 7 games. That's a season high. Madness last night in the best conference in basketball. Unranked Ole Miss upsets number 4 Tennessee 78-76. Fans storm the court. How about that SEC, man? It is something special. And then a busy Wednesday in the NFL. Chris Carrino's Seattle Seahawks going to look different next year. Tyler Lockett, been there a decade. He's released. Star receiver DK Metcalf requests a trade as well. And staying in the West, Los Angeles Chargers releasing 5-time Pro Bowler Joey Bosa. Still with some injuries, but have to think 49ers with Nick Bosa might want to reunite those brothers at some point. But that'll do it. Lou Orlando with the one-on-one scoreboard update. Back to Tucker and Chris.
Thank you to Lou Orlando. Thank you to that. Oh, wait. Thank you to Lou Orlando there on the scoreboard update. Thank you for that reminder on the culmination of my childhood as well, with all the moves being made in Seattle with my football team. Nonetheless, Fordham starting out the second quarter quickly. Veljovic, a couple stutter steps out of the right wing, now driving toward the rim, getting to the rim with a spin, doesn't get the shot to go, it rims off. It'll be out of bounds off the baseline, staying with the Rams on this side. Second chance for the Rams offense.
That's a nice close look for Veljovic early in the quarter. If Fordham can work the ball under the basket a little bit more in the second, they might be able to just chip away at this Duquesne lead.
Rams 3 of 21 from the field in that first quarter, a staggering stat. Mora using a step through to get inside and finish at the rim. The only Fordham player, one of the only Fordham players with field goals today. She's continuing that on there. Out of the right corner, Nadia Moore. Pass to Megan McConnell. Out of the right wing, now top of the key, directing her offense. Pass to the left wing. Cueta hitting from the mid-range, stopping and popping from the left elbow and hitting for this Duquesne offense. A now 30-9 lead for the Duquesne Dukes.
Full court press again from Duquesne.
Yeah, and Irene Mora bringing up the ball for the Rams. She gets it across half court, eventually gives a dribble handoff to Taya Davis. Taya Davis out of the left wing. Crossover on the baseline. Back top of the key. Veljevic three is good. Veljevic giving Fordham a much-needed triple, and she's got Fordham back within 18, 30-12, 8:36 to go in this first half.
And that's the first building block of a comeback, Chris. Fordham just needs to build off that with a stop here.
McConnell dribble handoff, Kiaku. Kiaku going right around a green screen, now top of the key. Kiaku on the right wing. Moore, Nadia Moore, stopping at the free throw line. Tried to get it out in the left corner. Intercepted by Taya Davis. Out of bounds off Taya Davis. It'll stay here with the Dukes. Good defensive effort here from the Rams. They need to string together some stops here.
Absolutely. Starts right now. Taya Davis doing a good job getting in the lane, tipping it away. Of course, Taya Davis and Taylor Donaldson have been two of the best pass disruptors this season for the Fordham Rams.
Pass to Blackford, left corner. Hutcherson has it now, left wing. Tried to fire it inside, and a shot clock violation. Great defensive possession there from the Rams. The Rams assistant coaching staff wanted the shot clock to be negated there. They had a bit of a fast break. Nonetheless, they're going to inbound it here on the baseline. It'll be Kayla Barrett.
Yeah, kind of odd timing there. Kayla Berry intercepted a pass at the right block just as the shot clock expired, and she took several steps down the court to try and start that fast break, but the whistle was blown and they brought her back to the baseline.
Veljevic working out of the top of the key. Pass in the mid-range on the left wing to Davis. Davis in the block to Kayla Berry. Pass at the left elbow. Renee Moore, dribble handoff, same spot. Taya Davis now has it at the free throw line. Floater from that position, no good. Bit of an awkward finish, and it's going to be a foul on the glass on Fordham, and Duquesne will have it going the other way.
Yeah, that's a tough foul to take if you're the Fordham Rams because it was a loose ball. Duquesne had just about corralled the basketball when the foul was called, so a bit of an unnecessary foul to take there, especially when you're trying to crawl back from a deficit.
McConnell to Hutcherson at the free throw line. Hutcherson facing up Kayla Berry to the defender. Back out to McConnell, left wing. McConnell moving right around at Hutcherson's screen. Stops at the top of the key, then drives. Blocked away by Kayla Berry with some force. I think some frustration from the Rams from this Duquesne offense starting to show. Fordham, for lack of a better term, getting fed up with it.
Yeah, Fordham hardening up a bit on the defensive end.
Megan McConnell stat stuffing all season long. One of 3 players in the nation with multiple triple-doubles this season. She's been fantastic all season long. Only D1 player with 500 points, 200 rebounds, 100 assists, and 100 steals. What a season from McConnell. Harris has it. Pass to Kayla Berry. She'll take the top of the key jumper. No good on that one. Taylor Donaldson fighting on the offensive glass. Can't corral it. Kiaku has it for Duquesne, and with speed the other way. No good on the Euro-stepping layup. It was a very acrobatic finish. Couldn't quite get it to go. It'll stay on this side with Duquesne off of a Fordham defender.
And we've seen her show off the speed. She's turned on the Jets a couple times in this game. That time just a little bit too fast, caused the shot to be a little too strong.
Hutcherson getting it quick inside to a cutting McConnell. McConnell coming in like a bullet and getting fouled with a lot of contact under the rim. She'll go to the line for 2, noticeably shooken up. And her teammate, Gabby Hutcherson, checking up on her.
She's holding on to that left wrist a little bit,
yeah.
Chris. Not exactly self-splinting, but she is, taking her time to get to the free throw line here.
And McConnell's had some wrist trouble throughout this season so far. The lifeblood of this program. First one is good for McConnell. McConnell is Duquesne basketball over the last several years. She leads this team in almost every statistical category, as we've said it. The Atlantic 10's Defensive Player of the Year. A very prestigious honor, especially at her size and her position. Second one for McConnell, good.
She's also back-to-back first-team All-A10 honors for McConnell.
Very impressive. Fordham still shooting poorly from the field, 5 for 25 from the field for the Rams. Shea Harris, right corner, mid-ranger, no good off the right side of the rim, no good on a putback from Taya Davis. Kiaku with speed going the other way for Duquesne. Stops at the right wing, mid-ranger in transition is good. Stop and pop mid-range took Fordham for a bit of put Fordham in a bit of disarray, and it gets it to go for Duquesne. Duquesne out to a 22-point lead, 34-12, 6:30 to go in this first half. Taya Davis prowling around the top of the arc to Taylor Donaldson, right wing. She'll step back, take a three, no good off the right side of the rim. Moore is there on the offensive glass, out of the right block, spinning to the left side of the rim, doesn't quite get that shot to go, and McConnell coming the other way for Duquesne. McConnell kicking it out, left corner, Kiaku, three is good! Journey Kiaku, the NC Central transfer, has Duquesne out to a 25-point lead. 5:50 to go in this first half. Duquesne looks like they're firmly in control.
Yeah, Duquesne not missing a step from beyond the arc. It took them a while to start getting attempts from beyond the arc, as I believe there's a foul on the floor here. But Duquesne, really that first quarter was almost entirely characterized by them raining down threes, and then in the first 4.5 minutes or so of the second quarter, they kind of moved away from the three-pointer a little bit, started to try to move the ball inside a little bit more. That's where Fordham plays their best defense, or at least has been playing their best defense. Now we see for the first time in the second quarter, they move it out to the perimeter, and Journey Kiaku knocks it down.
Taylor Donaldson inbounding on the sideline right in front of the Duquesne bench, right next to parallel with Dan Burt, the all-time winningest coach in Duquesne history, 12th season as head coach, 18th season on the staff. Led Duquesne to their first NCAA tourney in 2016. Six-time in program history, 20-plus wins last season. Didn't quite get there this season, 2 wins short. And an and one on the offensive glass. Irene Mora gets it to go off the miss from the Fordham Rams. A much-needed boost for this Fordham offense.
Yeah, Morua is the conduit for the Fordham Rams when it comes to scoring the basketball in the paint. Fordham absolutely relies on her production in the interior as she gets the 2 to go and goes to the line. She's the second best shooter from the floor in the A10, and it's because she takes most of her shots from the painted area.
Free throw is good, completing the three-point play for Irene Mora. Irene Mora, 9 points in this first half. Fordham really below par from a scoring perspective, but Irene Mora not individually under any expectation. That's a high total for a first half. McConnell, right to left crossover, driving through the left side of the lane and finishing at the rim. Megan McConnell continuing the offensive prowess for this Duquesne team. Now a 39-15 lead for the Dukes. 5 minutes to go in this first half.
And really impressive from McConnell to shake off Taylor Donaldson, one of the best defenders for the Fordham Rams.
Nice fake show there at the left block. Davis can't get the shot to go, gets her own offensive rebound, and gets the putback to go. Fordham Rams starting to score with more consistency on the offensive end.
Still need those stops, though, on defense. And
absolutely.
If Duquesne keeps getting those threes, the game is just going to stay barely out of Fordham's reach.
McConnell, long three from the right wing, ribs in and out. Some heart sank in the Fordham bench area. Nonetheless, second chance for Duquesne. Managed three out of the right wing is good. Taylor Donaldson shook up after the play. Matic hitting another three for this Duquesne team. The long-range shooting has been fantastic for Duquesne.
And it looks like Taylor Donaldson maybe took a shot in the nose.
Yeah, Donaldson sporting the black mask, as we've talked about all morning, afternoon long now. Hunched over, holding her face on the court. She said she did that for around 10 to 15 seconds at the end of that possession, not playing any defense whatsoever. And Matic ending the possession on a three. Not good for Fordham in any sort of fashion. We'll take a little break here as the teams take a break from Henrico, Virginia. Fordham Rams down 42-17 to the Duquesne Dukes. 4:25 to go in this second quarter. We'll be right back with WFUV Sports.
I'm Chaz McAdams.
And I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we are two of your hosts for On the Hill, the flagship podcast of Fordham Athletics.
We'll be talking about everything from football at Moglia Stadium
to hoops at the historic Rose Hill Gym,
discussing the ins and outs of all Ram athletes, teams, and big games.
If you want to be part of the Ramily, then listen to On the Hill from WFUV Sports.
Back here in Virginia, the second round of the A10 Women's Basketball Championship. The 8-seeded Fordham Rams currently down big, 42-17, with 4.5 to go in this first half over the 9-seeded Duquesne Dukes. The Fordham Rams setting all sort of historical records this season for how much they gave up in that first quarter and how little they scored. 7 points in that first quarter, the lowest output from Fordham in a first quarter all season long. Fourth lowest output in any quarter all season and all year long. 6 points versus URI in a game and also against George Mason, and 4 points against St. Louis in a quarter this season as well. And 28 points allowed. That's the most points allowed in a first quarter all season long. The second most points allowed in any quarter, with only being topped by a 29-point quarter from St. Joe's. Tucker, a lot of signs pointing in negative directions for this Fordham team after the first quarter. In recent play, we've seen the offense come from a more consistent place, but the defense still needing to string together more consistent stops.
Yeah, and Fordham, surprisingly enough, they actually have experience with being in this deep of a hole. You mentioned that St. Louis game, which was on the road in St. Louis. Myself and Madi Dembele were there on the call.
Shout out Madi.
Shout out Madi Dembele in studio today. But Fordham put up 4 points in that quarter. I believe it was the second quarter. And then in the second half managed to come all the way back, and they forced overtime. Unfortunately, the overtime period didn't go the way that Fordham would have liked. But still, I think we have to think about the fact that Fordham came all the way back from that deficit to send that game to overtime. And to overtime in this game, anything can happen. But still, obviously 4.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. We have plenty of game left. Fordham just needs to string some defensive stops together.
Another not good sign for the Fordham Rams. Taylor Donaldson on the bench, ice pack on her face, an A10 towel over her head. It's Amaya Ferguson, the freshman, subbing in for her. Coach Brissette Mitchell hoping to get some scoring spark in this Fordham team, in this Fordham offense. Mora gets it in the left block off a pass from Davis. Mora backing down Hutchinson, back out to Davis, left wing. Davis going right around to Mora's screen into the middle of the lane, and a foul on the floor. That one will go against Hutchinson. It'll be a blocking foul, and it'll stay on this side with the Rams. It's actually going to go on Matic, not Hutchinson.
Yeah, kind of another odd scenario there. Matic gets the foul, but Gabby Hutcherson took a basketball to the face that looked like Taya Davis' shot attempt.
Taya Davis, top of the arc, clearing out space on the right wing. To Rose Nelson, left wing, driving on Walker, dropping it. Ferguson picks it up off the ground to Mora, right block, turnaround jumper is good. Turnaround put up is good, my mistake, and Fordham gets closer once again from the offensive end, 42-19, 3:40 to go in this first half. Hutchinson, quick three out of the right wing is good. Gabby Hutchinson is unconscious from the three-point line right now. Rim must be the size of a bin to her eyes right now. Hutchinson with another three, and she gets Duquesne out to a 45-19 lead. 3:20 to go in this first half. Tucker, Duquesne not relenting one bit.
Scratch a bin. That bucket looks like the size of a pool right now.
Yeah.
For Duquesne, really anything that they put up splashes right home. And it's just punch and counter punch right now between Fordham and Duquesne. But, Fordham wasn't bringing the counter punches in that first quarter. So that's why they find themselves in such a deep, deep hole.
Shea Harris out of the left wing. Pass into Moore, left block. Tried to get it out on the top of the arc to Taya Davis, and a traveling violation. Rene Moore falling over and picking up the travel. Another turnover for the Fordham offense.
That time a forced error by Duquesne. The defense stifling Morwa underneath. With Taylor Donaldson not on the floor, Duquesne can afford to commit 2 defenders to Morwa under the basket, and with the way that Fordham's been moving the ball, they haven't really had to worry about the perimeter that much. Meanwhile, Fordham has been stretched across the entire floor trying to guard underneath, which they do so well, while also guarding the perimeter.
Left wing 3, no good. McConnell at the top of the arc with her hands above her head, thinking that one was good. Outlet pass, Taylor Donaldson freshly back on the court. Skip pass, Shea Harris. Right corner is good. Shea Harris, big 3 to get Fordham back in this game. It's 45-22, 2:38 to go in this first half. Matic out of the right wing, guarded tightly by Donaldson. Donaldson unrelenting on the defensive end. To Walker, back top of the key in McConnell. McConnell, intense face, directing her team, the rest of her team off the ball. Pass on the left wing, Matic 3, it's good! Matic missed the wide open first 3 in the left corner. She doesn't miss that one. A little stare to the Fordham bench after as well. Wonder if anything was said there.
The catch and shoot, absolutely lethal for the Duquesne Dukes so far this game. You'd think McConnell has the Hall of Fame dimer.
Wide open left wing, left corner 3 is good for Taylor Donaldson. Beautiful play drawn up by Coach Bridgette Mitchell there, and she makes the wide open 3. McConnell bullet pass inside, ends up getting picked up by Rose Nelson. Turnover for Duquesne. Fordham moving the other way. Moore getting it ahead to Ferguson. Left wing, cross-court pass. Shea Harris is 3. No good, off left side of the rim. Duquesne has it, and they'll slow it down. 1:34 to go in this first half. 48-25 Duquesne lead.
And those 3s are exactly the shot that Fordham needs right now.
Kuda no good off back iron from the free throw line. Fordham another defensive stop. Up ahead to Ferguson. Ferguson from the left block putting up a shot, no good on the heavy contest, and Duquesne has it once again. McConnell will slowly walk it up to half court. And a 30-second timeout called by Duquesne's head coach, Dan Burt.
Duquesne with all of the control in this game. McConnell slowly walking across the half-court line, waiting for a coach to call timeout, and he does. Just over a minute to go in the second quarter, and Duquesne has more or less maintained the lead. It's actually grown by 2 points since the start of the second quarter to 48-25. It's a 23-point hole for the Fordham Rams. And, you know, I think we can certainly talk about the field goal shooting, but that dates back to the first quarter. You know, this has been a much better quarter for the Fordham Rams overall. Plenty of defensive stops, not all strung together, but Duquesne certainly hasn't been able to convert on as many attempts as they did in that first quarter. Meanwhile, Fordham, of course, putting up a bunch more points, getting some variety in the points as well. Shea Harris from 3. We could see maybe if she heats up from beyond the arc, that would definitely help.
Tucker, a minute left in the first half. Duquesne has 48 points. They're on pace for 100 points, Tucker. Ridiculous.
Insane. I don't think I've seen anything like it in women's basketball this year.
Definitely not in the A10. One of the most explosive offensive performances this Fordham team has seen all season long, if not the best. Walker has it to McConnell, right wing, takes the quick 3. No good off back iron. Rose Nelson athletically tracking down that rebound with one hand.
Great.
Taylor Donaldson now going the other way.
Great closeout there by Emma Wilson-Saltos on McConnell.
Donaldson up top to Ferguson. Ferguson moving right around to Rose Nelson's screen, top of the arc. Pass in the right corner. Donaldson takes the 3 and hits. Moving and hitting. Not wide open whatsoever, but Taylor Donaldson gets it to go regardless. 22 seconds left to go in this first half. 48-28, Duquesne lead. Fordham slowly crawling their way back. McConnell has it, top of the arc, guarded by Ferguson. It'll be Hutchinson coming up to set a screen, setting it left. McConnell going right, throwing it away. Donaldson on the takeaway, going the other way and finishing off the front rim. Donaldson no good off the layup off the front of the rim, and that metaphorically a big symbol for this Fordham first half, Tucker.
Yeah, they've just been having such a hard time getting their good looks to go, and I've seen this issue with the Fordham Rams over the past handful of games where they just get so cold from the floor. It seems like nothing wants to go down. But they still, they've done a decent enough job on the defensive end. I mean, they really have. You mentioned Duquesne is on pace for close to 100 points in this game. But that's not because Fordham is playing poor defense. Duquesne is just playing unreal levels of offense. It really is probably the best, like you said, probably the best offensive performance that we have seen from a team this year. And they're getting scoring from all over the place. Hutcherson with 9, Kiyaka with 11, McConnell, of course, the star with 9 herself, 6 for Brown off the bench, 9 for Matic off the bench, a lot of those from 3. It's been an all-around great performance for Duquesne in that first half. Meanwhile, the Fordham Rams really, really hampered by a lame first quarter, I would say. 7 points, and you read off the stats. So it's going to be tough for Fordham to overcome that first quarter. But, they've got 20 minutes to work with in that second half. We'll see what they can do.
An interesting point you made. This Fordham Ram team for stretches is playing good basketball. It's just this Duquesne team defensively and offensively, just as a whole, there's a consistent cohesion to their play. Everything is translating positively to everywhere else. It just seems Duquesne, as much momentum as you can have in a game, they seem to have right now heading into the second half.
Yeah, it really seems like nothing can go wrong for the Duquesne Dukes. Even when they lose the basketball or, take a bad shot, the ball still seems to be bouncing in their favor off the rim. They're getting their own rebounds on the offensive end. They're actually nearly matching Fordham in rebounds at the half. Fordham with 22, Duquesne with 21, but normally we're used to a much bigger differential in terms of the rebounding in favor of the Rams.
Right.
But Duquesne they've been playing an almost perfect game. I know I said it before earlier in the second quarter, but really and truly Duquesne has not put much of a foot wrong through the first 20 minutes.
Absolutely not. Duquesne Dukes playing an almost flawless first half. The Fordham Rams falling a bit short of that. Duquesne Dukes with a 48-28 first half lead going into the second half. We're going to take a break here from Henrico, Virginia, and send it back to the Rose Hill Studios in the Bronx on campus with a halftime report with our hosts Madi Dembele and Lou Orlando. Take it away, guys.
The one-on-one halftime report.
First half action is behind us, man. I do love this game from the WFUV studios here in the Bronx, New York of Fordham University. I am Madi Dembele, joined once again here by Lou Orlando. And Lou, I want to present this to you, right? I got the philosophy book out, right? Sure. Perhaps it's Fordham getting, I would say, drunk on their own success, proverbially. I mean, a familiar face, you took care of them 2 times in a row now, but I don't know whether or not it's complacency. I don't want to say it's complacency. I figure the team as a whole down in Henrico, Virginia, they feel the magnitude of this moment, whether it be too bright. But a knockout punch, if I do say so myself, a little bit of philosophy from me, that's where I'm coming from. Duquesne just firing on all cylinders. Duquesne is starving. Tucker Austin said it before the game. He said, whichever team is hungrier is the team that's going to win. I try to stray away from such doctrine because it's almost like these are basketball players. These are athletes. They live for this moment, but it almost feels that way. They had their eye on this Fordham team, and it's just like they just look at each other, right? Let's take care of this team. We need to get it back. 5 points between 2 games. You come up short both times. Not again. 48-28. They come out swinging, and it's not just Meg McConnell. Journey Kaiku, second leading scorer on this team, a bit over 12 points per game if I'm not mistaken. She's good for 11 as of right now. I mean, it's just Gabby Hutcherson. I talk about her all the time. You heard me like moaning. 6'5". She has a 3-point shot. I mean, like, Lou, if you're Fordham, I mean, like, you're looking for a buoy. Where does it start?
First, I mean, you got to dig deep, right? Because it's so funny you brought up that great point about, well, it does look like Duquesne came out hungrier, and it doesn't make any sense, but we see it all the time in postseason basketball where for one reason or another, one team comes out really strong and the other team comes out flat. I mean, that is far and away the worst quarter that Fordham women's basketball has had when you consider the context of this situation.
Yeah.
It's round 2 of the A10 tournament. You're facing a team that you've beaten twice. And what's frustrating about this is, from the coaching staff, we know that they're not underrating or sleeping on this Duquesne team.
Not at all.
They are
no.
a dangerous 9 seed, and this is a dangerous 8-9 matchup. Again, we said it at the beginning of the show. 8-9 games are usually some of the closest games
They
you'll
are,
see. They're two
yeah.
teams that are usually pretty evenly matched. And when you looked at the season series, okay, Fordham swept them. You didn't feel confident this was going to be a cakewalk. The two games that they won were close games that came down to the wire. And, man, Duquesne came shot out of a cannon, and they did the things that they've done well all season long, namely the three-point shooting. 9 of 16 from 3, and it's the team that shoots the second most three-pointers in the nation. And they're hitting them at a high rate. They're usually about midway through the conference. They're ranked 7th in three-point percentage. Well, they're shooting at 56% right now. But that's what happens when you have a team that shoots at a high three-point volume. At any game, they can have that magic touch, and they can go off. And when that's coupled with, on the Fordham side, a disastrous offensive first quarter where they didn't find their footing, it almost doesn't matter that they had 21 points in the second quarter and actually turned that ship around. And it might sound weird to hear Tucker at the end of that half talk about, Fordham actually didn't play that bad, and they did turn it around in the second quarter. When you put yourself in a 21-point hole in the first quarter, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's uphill sledding the rest of the way. It's not enough to just play well. You now have to dominate the rest of this game in order to even make it close.
Yeah, it's been good for them in the second quarter, but better Duquesne all throughout the game. You talk about the scoring and the shooting of Duquesne. Lou, I want to focus specifically on the defense. Right, you talk about that was one of the two games. I don't know. I saw that you had the stream up, but Duquesne's the keys to victory. One was making layups, which they've done 6 of 11, in the paint, and jumping into passing lanes. Right, it's an all-team committed. It's strength in numbers. Everybody gets in on the action in the passing lanes. Meg McConnell, Journey Kaiku, the whole team. Keandra Brown herself also had a couple of big threes on the end. It's complementary basketball, defense into offense. Offense into defense. Everybody's clicking. And again, their brains just seem to be wired together as a well-oiled machine. Homogeneous, like a good mother sauce. I always go back to this, like a good tomato sauce for a pasta. Everybody just seems to be in sync, and the flavors work great together. It's a deep attack. I don't know. Can I throw this out at you, Lou? It's something I've presented in the past.
Hit me.
A little bit more philosophy. I got the book out. I wouldn't focus on numbers. I feel like there's a certain, I would say, je ne sais quoi, a little bit of French that certain teams tend to play with when they don't look at the numbers. If you have the stat sheet through the first for the Fordham Rams, it's not much that you can be happy about. But what if I just say go play basketball? Go play free basketball. Don't worry about turnovers. Move the basketball. Don't worry about how many times you're fouling. Just go ahead and just try to put your best product out there. Because at this point, what is it exactly that you have to lose? Again, this is a team whose number you had twice. Again, slim margins, but you beaten them, and you find yourself to them down 20 in this circumstance. Maybe it's time to shift completely away from what you know. I don't know if that's a radical enough idea. It's something that I've presented in the past, but what do you feel about that?
I like it because if you're thinking about the fact that you're down 20 and you have to climb out of that hole, I mean, maybe that works for some people, but to me, that's deflating. I'm down 20 at halftime.
Yeah.
I have to play my best basketball in the season. If I'm thinking about that, it's a lot of pressure. I don't know if that's going to work out. I think sometimes the best mentality is forget about the score. Focus on the little things that you need to do effort-wise. There shouldn't be a play that you take off. You've got 20 minutes left in this game. If you don't win, your season is over. So let's see that in the second half. You should play every single play like it's your last, because for some of these players, it might be. The reality here is we're pundits talking about this game is Fordham. If Fordham doesn't outscore Duquesne by 20 points in the second half, their season's going to be over. They had a disastrous first quarter, and that's the situation. So I want a little bit of urgency and a little bit of awareness of the situation. I don't want them to be thinking about the exact score, but I want to feel that, hey, our season's on the line, because it is. Their season's 100% on the line. So they should play. They should come out of the second half like their hair's on fire. And so we know Coach Brissette Mitchell to be a strong motivator, to be stern and honest with her players. I'll say this. I'm glad that I'm not in the Henrico Center right now in Virginia, because I can't imagine that halftime talk is going to be very pretty. But I also imagine that it could be one that, if it hits the right way, could get them going. And basketball, especially in the playoffs, is such a game of runs. And just because Duquesne shot 56% from three in the first half does not mean they're going to do that in the second half. There's a lot of funny business that can happen in that 15-minute break. And so there's no guarantee that Duquesne plays the way they did in the first half. I would actually say it's probably almost statistically impossible that they put up 48 points in the second half. It's going to be so hard to replicate what they did. So that's the good thing if you're Fordham, is that it'd be really hard for Duquesne to top what they just did. But they got to fight on defense. This is a defense-first team. It's a Coach Bridgette Mitchell team that she preaches all the time, the effort and the intensity and the pressure of defense. Let defense turn into offense, and then let's see the offense go into a flow state a little bit. Taylor Donaldson heats up at the end of that half, takes a couple threes, sinks a couple threes after a slow start. If there's one player that can turn this game around, it's Taylor Donaldson.
You touched on a lot of great points there. Again, Duquesne, 56.3% from three, 58% from the field. You touched on head coach Bridgette Mitchell. Kurt Sipple, Benjamin Oppenheimer, and myself yesterday talked about the way she's able to bring the best out of this team. Almost like I always do this, I'm so sorry, guys, but almost like a trainer talking to a boxer. Dig deep, second wind, let's go. You guys have to find it within yourself. So, again, I'm interested to see how they come out within the second half because, again, nothing's guaranteed in the game of basketball. Tucker Austin brought up the fact that I've witnessed a 4-point quarter. I saw that with my two eyes, and I've saw Fordham come back from crazier stuff because, again, as you said, Lou, basketball is indeed a game of runs, and it's been much of Fordham's style. I don't think this is a cop-out or me just being a homer or saying this just in defense of Fordham, but we've seen Fordham come out to slow burners in the first half, and then the second half, they keep it close enough to where the avalanche comes. Maybe the first quarter it may result in something, I would say, too little, too late. It's the most dangerous game is what they're playing as of right now, but it's something that's worked for Fordham in the past, but you need a quick, fast, and in a hurry. Like you said, hairs on fire, feet on fire. You need to move in transition. You need to hunt out the best shots as quickly as possible. You need to pass the ball around. Again, they're jumping into those pass lanes, so ball security, it's a bunch that Fordham has to do. I've seen crazier stuff, but you talk about Taylor Donaldson, I mean, like, Shea Harris is another name I brought up before. I'm looking for her to step up. Camilla DePoole, Amaya Ferguson, they've also gotten big-time runs, but is there another player you're looking at specifically? Because we always look at Taylor Donaldson, again, all-conference player, back-to-back years for those who did not know, but beyond that, who's the secondary piece that needs to come alive, Lou Orlando?
Well, I'm actually going to highlight the 4 players that were here last year because I value, especially in the Atlantic 10, I think experience come tournament time matters a lot. Mm-hmm. And so for Taylor Donaldson and Taya Davis and Kayla Berry, who were all here last year for their loss against Loyola Chicago, and Rose Nelson, who's been here for 2 prior seasons, was here for when Fordham blew a 15-point loss as a 4 seed against Richmond back before Richmond was the powerhouse they are now. So Rose Nelson's had experience in 2 tournament games. The rest of them had experience in an A-tournament game last year that Fordham, I think, really squandered when you go back and you look at that 1-point loss to Loyola Chicago, and Fordham shot 3 of 15 from the line, and Loyola Chicago didn't record a field goal in 11 consecutive minutes, and Fordham still didn't win the game, and that was head coach Mitchell's first season at the helm, that there should be some anger, and there should be some energy from the core that was here last year and knows that they probably left something on the table the last time tournament play was here, and they didn't give their best effort. And right now, if the first half gets replicated, it'd be tough to look yourselves in the mirror and say, we got to the tournament and we gave our best effort. We put our best foot forward. You have one half to change that. And so I would look to the people that have been here before, that have stood in that very building, the Henrico Center, and watched the team celebrate advancing right in their faces. And knowing that there's a chance Duquesne has the chance to do that in 20 minutes. And we're not going to let that happen. It starts with your veteran leadership, to me, that lays down the line and says, we've got 20 minutes to change the narrative of this season.
Yeah, the fish rots or blossoms from the head down, and you got to look at the 4 veterans here. Irina Murua with 11 points, but Duquesne's defense is doing an excellent job on her. They're blitzing her down low. Had it up on the stream here. Every time she touched the ball, whether it be Kaiku or whether it be Makano or whether it be Brown herself, they're doubling her hard, and she's trying to get the passes out from the post, but other players got to step up again. It takes a team. It takes a village to grab this win. 48-28 is your score here. 8-9s. Again, these games come out closer than a lot of people anticipate. Again, I would say the teams towards the bottom tend to be the scrappier ones. They want to fight to play another game. Again, Fordham, it doesn't get any easier after that. If you do come back and you do eventually take this against the Duquesne Dukes, you got Richmond, right? We know the way they shoot from not just the three, but from the field and the free throw line. They just scorch it completely, so it gets tough. But if there's any team that's willing to do it, it is indeed the maroon and white Fordham Rams, hoping to stampede. That's going to do it for us here in the studio. Second half action is underway. From Adi Dumbele, Lou Orlando, Khalif Stein behind the board. Chris Carrino and Tucker Austin, please take it away.
Welcome back to Henrico, Virginia. Ready for second half action, starting off right away here. Duquesne going to get this second half started. They currently sit on a 20-point lead, 48-28. Pass by Kyaku to Brown, down on the baseline, tried to barrel through Rose Nelson. Rose Nelson picking up the offensive foul. She's amped up on the ground, and that might just be the energy this Fordham team needed.
Just to clarify, Rose Nelson draws a charge against Kiara Brown of the Duquesne Dukes. So good job by Rose Nelson there with the tough play, setting the tone here in the second half.
It's going to be Taya Davis out of the backcourt, bringing it up for the Rams. Rams shooting really poorly from the field in that first half, just 36%, 11 for 40. Duquesne shooting a very high percentage, 18 for 31, including 9 for 16 from the three-point line. It's going to be out of bounds. It'll stay on this side with the Rams. It'll be taken out on the left baseline under the basket.
And with a baby stoppage here, Fordham needs to lock it down on the perimeter. They need to keep Duquesne away from knocking down the three-pointers.
Right corner three off the inbound. No good off the right side of the rim for Taylor Donaldson. It'll be out of bounds off Fordham and go the other way toward Duquesne.
And my other note for the start of the second half is that Fordham is going to have to live and die by the three-pointer in this half. If they want to crawl their way out of this hole, they need to shoot the three, and they need to knock those threes down while also preventing Duquesne from doing the same.
Shot there, no good for Duquesne. Taylor Donaldson on the defensive glass. Still 20-point deficit for the Rams. Veljovic, top of the key. Dribble handoff, Taylor Donaldson, back up top. Rose Nelson driving to the left side of the lane. Kick out, Veljovic, no good from the left corner. And it'll be McConnell, Megan McConnell, and Duquesne going the other way. Bounce pass in transition. Walker missing at the rim off the bottom of the backboard. Rose Nelson there playing heavy contest. It'll be the Fordham offense once again out of the left corner. Finding Taylor Donaldson. She wasn't prepared, ends up gathering it anyway.
She nearly took it off that face mask.
Taya Davis straight on three, no good. Duquesne there on the defensive glass, and they'll have it offensively once again. 8:19 to go in this third quarter. Hutchinson, no good from the mid-range for Duquesne. That one's out of bounds. It'll go the other way. Fordham has it. Still down 20, 48-28.
Yeah, out of bounds off Journey Kyaku. Taylor Donaldson's got to be careful with that face mask and with her face, I should say. We've already seen her spend a little bit of time on the bench with an ice pack on her face in that first half. And, you know, if you're Fordham, if you're Coach Bridgette Mitchell, I think you want Taylor Donaldson on the floor for the entirety of the final 20 minutes.
Absolutely. This Fordham team, as I said, struggled from three-point land. It's going to be integral for this team to make their comeback, as Tucker said earlier. 4 for 14 from the three-point line. Taylor Donaldson could help out that average a lot. She's made a few of those 4.
I would have loved 9 for 14, Chris.
Yeah, 9 for 14 would be nice. Taylor Donaldson through the left side of the lane, puts up a floater, no good in the middle of the lane, and she picks up the offensive foul. It was, I believe, Green. Yeah, Green inside. Raina Green picking up the massive tumble. Nonetheless, it all works out.
Oddly enough, Taylor Donaldson went for the shot, and she's the one who picks up the offensive foul on the charge against Raina Green drawing it, but she's really more shaken up because Irene Morwa was trying to move under the basket, tripped, and fell on top of Raina Green while she was already on the ground.
Yeah.
I believe it was knee-to-head contact there. Incidental, though, of course. Obviously, Morwa didn't mean to do that. but a tough shot to take for Green.
Blackford double team in the right corner, stripped away by Veljovic. Fordham has it, and she loses it again. McConnell has it. The A10 steals leader gets it to go on the other, gets it all the way on the other end, misses the shot, but she'll go to the line for two. Megan McConnell, second in the nation in steals, showing the prowess there.
Yeah, she's DPOY in the A10 this year for a reason. Megan McConnell, although she hasn't done a majority of the scoring, she's done plenty of scoring, but certainly not the most scoring on the team. However, she's playing the role that we've come to know that she plays for this Duquesne team. Really just like the entirety of the offense and the defense moves through her. And like you mentioned, despite her size at 5'7" and being a guard, she's still a prolific defender.
She just stuffs the stat sheet. As I said earlier, one of 3 players in the country with multiple triple-doubles this season. She's already at 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. She can just honestly do it all. Taya Davis, top of the key, working on McConnell. Drifting over to the left wing. McConnell looking at the off-ball action. Mora has it right wing, pump fakes, then drives. At the right block, going around the rim to the left side of the rim. No good on the reverse. And it's McConnell and Duquesne out in front. McConnell, long outlet pass. Blackford, beautiful bounce pass next to her to the cut and Kyaku. All around, great play from the Duquesne Dukes. It was the Dukes. A little trading places, Tucker. Taya Davis has it on the right wing. Pump fakes, then gets it inside. Kayla Berry stolen away. McConnell once again stopping at the free throw line. It's going to be a whistle and a travel called on Megan McConnell. Just couldn't quite control her body there.
Yeah, she can't really believe it, but quickly tucked that one away and turned the page given their extreme lead at this stage of the game. I want to highlight over here right in front of us, Taya Davis had the ball with an open look in the right corner, although she's not normally a three-point shooter. Fordham in desperate need of threes. She decided against the three, moved the ball inside to Kayla Berry, but that resulted in a turnover.
Mora, top of the arc, looking for a pass, finds Kayla Berry, mid-range, left wing, no good off front rim, rebound tracked down by Hutchinson. Duquesne once again has it. Offensively now, McConnell bringing it up. McConnell working on Shea Harris, driving through the right side of the lane, stopping at the right block, out to Blackford, straight on pump fake, driving, pass to the driving Kuda next to her. It's going to be a whistle before then. It'll be, I believe, a foul on the floor. Yeah, it's going to be a knock on the head called by the referee, and it'll be Kayla Berry on the foul and Kayla Berry on the substitution. She'll come out in favor of Rose Nelson.
And it's really interesting to see the adjustments that Duquesne actually made at halftime before coming out for this third quarter. We're seeing a lot more trailer play out of them, where they push the pace down the floor, get the ball into the basket, and then find that outlet underneath with a cutting player who's wide open. That's like the second or third time that they've done it so far in just 4 minutes of game time here in the third quarter, when we didn't see any of that in the first half. It seems like it's caught Fordham's defense a little bit off guard, the switch up there. My only concern now is that if Fordham starts to guard the inside a little bit more, the perimeter is going to open up again, and we already know how efficient Duquesne is from three.
It's a timeout here on the floor, 51-28. Duquesne lead over the Fordham Rams, 6:07 to go in this third quarter. We're going to take it back to the Rose Hill Studios for a break. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey, this is Chris Carrino, Fordham and WFUV class of 1992. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Duquesne Dukes looking good and feeling good. 51-28 lead over the Fordham Rams. 6:07 to go in this third quarter. It seems that this Duquesne momentum, no matter what installment of the game we're in, Tucker Austin, my partner, it just seems the momentum isn't going anywhere. It's continuing at the strength that it's always been throughout this entire afternoon.
I'll say this, though. After giving up the most points in a half on the entire season with 48 to the Dukes for the Fordham Rams, they've held Duquesne to just 3 points through almost 4 minutes of game time in the third quarter. So even though Duquesne seemingly has switched their offensive strategy around, Fordham has still found a way to keep them relatively quiet, although for the Fordham Rams, of course, they haven't scored in the third quarter. You would have liked to see them come out a little bit hotter on the offensive end, but sort of more the same from the end of the first half, where it just seems like the ball does not want to go through the iron for the Fordham Rams. It's almost baffling to watch to an extent because they're not getting bad looks. They're getting decent shots. They're getting nice and close to the basket. Even open looks, like open jumpers, open looks from three. But we've seen a couple times Fordham maybe making one too many passes trying to find the open spot. A couple shots that looked good but didn't wind up going. A rim out here, hard off the backboard there, and it's just not been Fordham's day.
Fordham Rams 0 points off turnovers in this matchup to Duquesne's 9. Duquesne could have more than that, but more of a point of emphasis on Fordham not taking advantage of those turnovers. Blackford with a quick three off the timeout from the right wing for Duquesne, and she's got Duquesne out to a 54-28 lead. 5:55 to go in this third quarter. Camilla DePaul receiving some more tick now for the Fordham Rams. She dribble hands off on the right wing to Shea Harris. Harris loses the ball in the backcourt, has some trouble with it, keeps it from going into the backcourt, eventually loses it completely to Megan McConnell. McConnell, another steal to Blackford. Left wing, her three, no good. It's a fight on the ground for it. Shea Harris almost has it. It's going to be dual possession, a jump ball, possession arrow going toward the Rams.
That was probably the before this play on Duquesne's offensive end, that was probably the roughest possession that we have seen from the Fordham Rams in this game so far. Camilla DePaul nearly lost the ball, getting pressed above the three-point line, hands off to Shea Harris, and then Shea Harris loses the basketball, and then trying to get it away from the half-court line and down, it gets away again. So Fordham really need to tighten things up on the offensive end. And they still don't have a bucket here in the third quarter, nearly halfway gone.
Top of the arc, Camilla DePaul. Now moving toward the right wing. Crossover left to right. Toward the baseline, pass out Shea Harris, right wing three, no good. It's going to be multiple players tangled on the ground. It's going to be a foul on Irene Mora. Mora picking up the foul, and it's going to be, once again, Duquesne ball offensively. Another turnover for the Rams.
Coach Mitchell calling players forward for the Fordham Rams. They're going to bring a press. I can't imagine this press goes away for the rest of the game until it gets a little bit closer.
Yeah, Fordham in a place of desperation right now. DePaul and Donaldson on the trap. It's going to be a double team at the left wing, up to McConnell, top of the arc. McConnell directing her team with her hands to Kiaku. Kiaku going left around a Brown screen, stopping at the free throw line. Pass to Walker. Left wing, stops at the free throw line. Kick out. McConnell, right wing, driving inside on her right side and finishing at the rim. More impressive offensive work from Megan McConnell and this Duquesne Dukes team. That one out of bounds on the baseline, going toward the Dukes. This Fordham team, Tucker, seeming completely deflated right now.
Yeah, every offensive or every possession for the Duquesne Dukes takes the full shot clock and seemingly results in a bucket almost every time. Meanwhile, the Fordham Rams are barely cracking 20 seconds on their shot clock before a lost ball, unforced error, turnover, or missed shot. This time it was Taylor Donaldson on the floater that wound up well short. That's been the result a couple times on the floaters for Taylor Donaldson today. Coach Bridgette Mitchell calls timeout to try and settle her team down. we were going to mention before the start of this half that, Fordham spent an extended amount of time in the locker room. Coach Bridgette Mitchell really talking to her team in there during the half for a long time. They didn't come out for the start of the second half until 2 minutes left on the clock for warm-ups.
Like a minute and a half.
Yeah, so – but they it sort of seems like the same team with the same energy went into the locker room and came right back out.
Yeah, just be yourself, sir. Whatever happens, they can't take that away from you. That's kind of the identity. That's kind of the mindset this Fordham team needs to have right now. We talked about character and identity before the game with Coach Bridgette Mitchell. It seems that whenever this Fordham team strays away from that character, strays away from that identity, that's when they seem to get in the most trouble. That's when they seem to be in the deepest waters. Fordham needs to just kind of buy in. I don't know if buy in is the right word, or come together in a cohesive way around that identity. And I think they could at least put up a decent fight here down the stretch.
I was going to say cohere or just cohesion. Fordham, it seems like when you watch this game, or obviously we have the benefit of watching, our listeners at home can only hear, but for us watching this game, it really feels like each Fordham player is almost on an island when they have the basketball. Like multiple Duquesne defenders switching off, and like we've seen double teams underneath, especially for Rene Morwa. And every time a Fordham player gets the basketball, it kind of feels like they're alone out there. And then, one thing leads to the next, and we wind up with a turnover, or we wind up with trying to connect on a pass that just isn't there.
That was very articulate from you. I think almost from a mental standpoint, that sort of isolation, regardless of the physical or what may be happening with Duquesne's offense, that's got to be a challenge, got to be tough.
Yeah, and I mean, Duquesne, and plus you have to still give credit to the Duquesne Dukes. They've still been playing an excellent basketball game. Not only did they play a near-perfect first half, but they also made adjustments at the half and came out with a different look on offense and the same defensive tenacity. Like Fordham, of course, is playing with their backs against the wall here. So Duquesne is doing a good job of letting Fordham kind of trip over themselves. It was something that Fordham was going to try to do with Duquesne to see if Duquesne was maybe took it a little too personally that they lost 2 games earlier this season. The hope was that Duquesne could maybe trip over themselves trying to get at the Fordham Rams, but it's gone the other way in this game.
Blackford quick off the feed from McConnell. No good on the 3 from the right wing. It's going to be Fordham setting up quickly. They're wasting 0 time right now. Camilo DePool moving right around a Rose Nelson screen. Now at the free throw line. Pass right corner, Mora. Quick fire. It's good! Rene Mora from 3. She's got Fordham within 56-31, 25 points. Still a large deficit for this Ram team, but momentum building up.
Yeah, and Keandra Brown gave her plenty of space, but I'm not surprised Duquesne is more concerned about guarding the paint, leaving Fordham on the outside a little bit with such a lead. They were probably okay with giving up that one shot, but I doubt Morwa gets that open of a look again from 3.
Brown. Top of the key, McConnell. It's going to be a foul on the screener from Brown and the driving McConnell. It'll be on Fordham. Not sure if it was on the screen or the ball defender. Either way, it's going to be a foul on it's going to be a foul on the Rams, and Duquesne is going to go to the line. Megan McConnell specifically is going to go to the line.
Yeah, that's Fordham's.
McConnell been fantastic at the line all season long.
Yeah, it's Fordham's 5th foul already here in the third quarter. So a foul on the floor, trying to move around the screen, results in free throws for McConnell. She misses the first. Bit uncharacteristic there. A 63% free throw shooter on the year.
McConnell good on the second as well. It's going to be DePool in the backcourt. Rose Nelson eventually getting it across half court. DePool has it deep on the left wing. 57-31 Duquesne lead. 3:25 to go in this third quarter. DePool driving from the right side of the lane, using her body and finishing at the rim. DePool, impressive stuff offensively.
Yeah, Camilla DePool doing a great job at 5'7", going right through the 6'3" Caitlin Ammons.
Nice up and down finish, Gypsy do from Journey Kieka. fantastic play gets Duquesne back up 59-33. Donaldson driving from the right wing, no good at the right elbow on the floater. Once again, Duquesne has it. Another missed opportunity for the Rams on the offensive end.
We're going to see plenty more of this slow play from Duquesne.
It's going to be McConnell, top of the key, guarded by DePool. Picks up her dribble, gets it to Brown, right wing. Brown, above her head pass, left corner. Walker drives. Passing to a cutting McConnell who finishes at the rim. McConnell pumped up after that bucket. And this Duquesne team continuing the offensive onslaught.
Yeah, Camilla DePool did everything she could to stick to Megan McConnell, but it just wasn't enough as DePool hits the deck and McConnell gets the wide open two.
DePool driving right side of the lane, no good on her shot from the baseline. Duquesne has it once again. Pass to Blackford in transition, her left wing three, no good. Rebound jockeyed for on the glass. It's going to be, I believe, Duquesne ball. Duquesne, a first half offensive explosion, 48 points, the most points Fordham has given up in a half all season long. It seems the pace in which they were scoring slowed down a little bit. They were at single digits for this quarter up until a few seconds ago. This Fordham team just not doing enough to really capitalize on that in a major way.
Yeah, Fordham has certainly struggled on both ends of the floor, I would say, in this game, although the defense has improved in this quarter, but offense still isn't quite there. Fordham has only scored 5 points in this third quarter. Meanwhile, it's 13 for the Dukes.
Yeah. 5-point quarter for the Rams. Still 1:45 to go in the third quarter. 61-33 Duquesne lead. Hutchinson out of the left wing facing up Mora. In the post, now backing her down. Right in front of the free throw line. Right corner pass, Kiyaku. Step back. Tried to get it off in time. A shot clock violation, or a travel violation. My mistake. Nonetheless, Fordham ball.
Yeah, unfortunately for Journey Kiyaku, only James Harden is going to get a no call on a step-back three like that. The travel coming and bailing out the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, a little classic Harden double step-back there. If you're just joining us, Duquesne up 61-33 over the Fordham Rams. 1:19 to go in this third quarter. Renee Mora, right wing three, no good off front of the rim. Mora there to get it for herself and gets fouled on the way up. She'll go to the line for two. Nice job there getting her own miss on a three.
Yeah, Shea Harris actually did a bulk of the work on the rebound there under the basket. She got her hand on it right after the miss from Mordwa and just tipped it back towards Mordwa. She grabbed it, moves inside, and gets fouled on the way up.
And what I was going to say before the Mora three attempt there is, if you're just joining us, seeing that sort of score, seeing where the game is right now, these two teams have played such close games throughout this year. They've been so close to each other in the standings throughout this year. This sort of win in the fashion in which it's been done has been very surprising.
Yeah, they had an identical record in the conference this year, Chris. Fordham's record overall was a little bit worse, but conference schedules were a little more difficult. Or the conference schedule for Fordham was a little more difficult than the Dukes. But still, even in conference play, Fordham getting 2 wins by a combined 5 points, but now they find themselves down by nearly 30.
61-35 after the free throws. 1:06 to go in this third quarter. Pass on the right wing, Matic, her three, it's good! McConnell facilitating from the top of the arc to the wings, and finally one of those threes gets down in the bottom of the net. Their third quarter shooting has been a bit below par in comparison to their first half, but they get that one to go.
Yeah, always the three-pointers for Duquesne.
Taylor Donaldson, right corner, was about to attempt a three, but she stepped out of bounds. It's going to be Duquesne ball once again.
And you see, it's been little things like that, the little unforced errors here and there. They've been laden throughout the game. Rears its head again here as Fordham tries to dig themselves out of a 29-point hole.
Here at the Henrico Sports and Events Center, this massive complex, the stage for this A10 championship.
11 for 22.
It's going to be a foul there.
Is Duquesne from three.
Wow.
11 for 22.
Wow, that's impressive.
Just unbelievable stuff from beyond the arc from Duquesne.
Caleb Berry, nice defensive play there, stopping the pass to the corner. 20 seconds left for the Fordham offense. 64-35 deficit. Now 15, 14. Donaldson top of the arc, donning that black mask like Batman. And a foul on the left wing on the floor. It'll be Donaldson who gets fouled there, and it'll be inbounded on the sideline. Game preceding this one, all games in this gym all day today. 1:30 George Washington, Rhode Island. 5 o'clock game and a 7:30 game as well. 5 o'clock being St. Louis and UMass, and the nightcap, 7:30, LaSalle and Dayton. Quarterfinal continues tomorrow here in Henrico.
Well, LaSalle is a little bit of a shock there.
Yeah. A trip there by a defender. Pass to Shea Harris. Left wing three. No good. Missing wide right. Completely missing the entire rim. Chance of air ball coming from the Duquesne faithful. And Duquesne once again has it. Fordham offense just stuck in the mud right now.
And they've been stuck there all game, seemingly, as the inbound is intercepted. And I just had to save the desk from a basketball, but
yeah, Tucker on the long heave from half court goes flying toward us. Tucker also doing his best defensive work to save the tie line and save us. And that's it for 3 quarters here in Henrico, Virginia. The Duquesne Dukes, a very impressive performance. They're up 64-35. We're going to head into the final quarter, but first we're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for a one-on-one scoreboard update with the boss, Lou Orlando. Take it over, Lou.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Attaboy, Tucker. You protect that tie line with your life. Fordham versus Duquesne. First of 4 matchups today in round 2. Chris gave you the times of the other 3. In the Power 5, 2 ranked teams in danger of losing in round 2 of their respective conference tournaments. Number 14 UNC taking on Boston College. It's BC up 63-54 with 8 minutes left to go in the 4th. And then 18-ranked Tennessee going up against Vanderbilt. They're down 69-51, 8 minutes, 23 seconds left in the NCAA tournament, SEC tournament round 2, UNC in the ACC. Cool nugget out of the NBA, Kevin Love returned to Rocket Arena as the Miami Heat visited the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's his first time returning to Cleveland since departing for Miami in free agency 2 years ago. He got a video tribute and a standing ovation from the Cavs fans when he entered the game. Cool moment for an NBA vet who played a crucial role in that 2016 title run for the Cavs. And some local hockey news, Devils superstar Jack Hughes underwent shoulder surgery yesterday. He will miss the remainder of the season. A devastating blow for a Devils team that's fallen to 3rd in the Metro, and now they lose their leading scorer with the trade deadline at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Rangers lose to the Caps yesterday, 3-2 at the Garden. Tom Wilson, familiar foe, gets the OT winner. Rangers still tied for the second wildcard spot. With that, Lou Orlando, the one-on-one scoreboard update.
Back here in Virginia, we always appreciate Lou Orlando keeping us updated all afternoon long across all the different sports. I know you were watching your Devils last night, or was that 2 nights ago?
I believe it was 2 nights ago.
WFUV's resident beat reporter for the New Jersey Devils, Tucker Austin.
Yeah, thanks so much, Lou, for reminding me that it has never been more over than it is right now for the New Jersey Devils.
Right, and also, just to give respect to me and our producer, Caleb Stein, the rivalry, Duke-UNC, on the men's side tonight, no love from Lou Orlando. I understand that my UNC basketball team's been a bit mediocre this year, but still, no grounds to not mention the greatest rivalry in sports.
Yeah, it's surprising he didn't mention that, but he did mention the Devils. Probably just to remind me of the unfortunate situation, but it is what it is.
Yeah, he did that with the Seahawks earlier. Just likes to kind of remind us.
Also, by the way, I am up for the WFUV Sports Defensive Player of the Year award, so starting my campaign now.
Megan McConnell does not have, I would say, anything on you.
I don't think she has the production skills to put a broadcast together, especially on site. I don't think Megan McConnell knows her way around OBS. So I've got that on her.
You're making an assumption. You know what happens when you make assumptions.
That's true.
Megan McConnell with the ball. She'll have it deep on the right wing. Guarded by Veljovic and Donaldson. Going out of bounds. Veljovic And Donaldson getting the stop, now in transition. Levitt stopping at the free throw line, passing to a cutting Mora. Mora out to Harris in the right corner. She steps out of bounds as well. A few possessions ago, Donaldson did the same thing. And now this Fordham team just seemingly getting creative in the ways that they're turning the ball over.
Chris, I think what I just saw perfectly illustrates the way this game has gone so far. The referee just called Shea Harris putting her foot on the line, called it out of bounds. When he made that call, he actually grimaced in pain. That was a painful call for him to make, but he still had to call Fordham for a turnover down by 29.
That's a remark that says 1,000 words. McConnell straight on three, no good. Just rimming in and out. Donaldson there on the defensive glass for Fordham. Fordham pushing it ahead. Shea Harris stopping at the right wing, taking the three and hitting. Shea Harris hitting a big three for this Fordham team, and they're back 64-38 with 9:10 to go in this fourth quarter. Fordham's clock on this game and their season ticking on and on.
No hesitation from Shea Harris on the three. That's when she's at her best, is when she doesn't think about it and just shoots. And need a handful more of those if Fordham wants to get back into this basketball game.
Matic out of the right wing. Right to left crossover, getting in the lane. Ball's tipped on the baseline, out to Hutchinson. Hutchinson tried to skip pass into Kyaku. Kyaku eventually gets to it and out of bounds. Deep offensive lapses on both sides of the ball, and Fordham now getting the ball back, putting together stops and scores.
Fordham needs to turn and burn if they want to put something together here with 8:43 to go. Speaking of burn, it kind of smells like somebody burnt the popcorn over there.
A little bit of a popcorn snafu over there, it seems like. It smells like. Good, I got my popcorn in before then. Taylor Donaldson. And it's an over-encompassing smell. No good from the top of the arc from Shea Harris. I know from maybe states away you would think they were overestimating the smell of this, but it hit our nostrils both so hard that we had to mention it.
It's got to be affecting the players too, right? They got to all be smelling the burnt popcorn right now.
Got to be affecting the players some way. Kyaku has it in the front court for Duquesne. Megan McConnell there to break the press. McConnell has it on the left wing. Wide open three. No good from her once again. And Fordham has it once again. 64-38. Duquesne lead. 8:07 to go in this fourth quarter and this game and maybe the Fordham season. Shea Harris, kick out. Arene Moore, right corner three. No good. Off the right side of the rim. Falling short, out of bounds. It'll stay on this side with the Rams off of Undela Matic.
At this point, if there's a 50-50 ball when it goes out of bounds, I feel like the referees should probably just give the nod towards the Fordham Rams. I mean, of course, it seems painful for them to call anything against Fordham at this point. So,
Shea Harris getting it on the inbound in the right corner. Stutter step, driving inside. Long, winding, athletic, some would say acrobatic right-handed finish. Doesn't go, but she gets the foul. She'll go to the line for two. Shea Harris.
Yeah, moving very quickly under the basket. I would have been shocked if she knocked that one down. It seemed like she was really kind of moving for the foul under the basket, but some big free throws here, maybe to bring Fordham within 24. First one goes.
She does. Shea Harris starting to get the shot down a little bit in these last recent possessions. She hit the fast break three from the right wing earlier. Now 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Free throw line consistency, not something this Fordham team can take for granted. And depleted looks and sad looks on the faces of this Fordham bench. This Fordham team maybe slowly realizing their mortality here down the stretch. 7:53 to go in this fourth quarter. A nice steal off the inbound and a score. Taylor Donaldson stealing and scoring, and they've got Fordham back within 24. Or 22, my mistake, even closer. 64-42, 7:48 to go in this fourth quarter. Fordham trying to storm back and do something unprecedented. We're going to take a little break from Virginia. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Back here in Virginia at the Henrico Sports and Events Center, the Fordham Rams have trailed big all afternoon long to the Duquesne Dukes, and now kind of find themselves, Tucker, storming back here at the beginning of the fourth quarter. A 7-0 run to start the quarter, and now Fordham find themselves within 22, 64-42.
Well, it was 2 free throws for Shea Harris. They both went down, and then right off the inbound, Taylor Donaldson gets a quick steal and a 2 right after. The steal took place in the paint, essentially. She really just had to go right back up with it. So a quick little 4-point swing for the Rams, and they've actually began the fourth quarter on a 7-0 run over Duquesne. Duquesne yet to score in the fourth, unsurprisingly, given they have such a significant lead. But, you know, that last steal and transition 2 from Taylor Donaldson forced a timeout call from Duquesne head coach Dan Burt. So, I don't know, maybe he's seeing some momentum. Maybe he's trying to kill whatever Fordham has going. If you're the Fordham Rams, just put your head down and continue to just play the game of basketball. At this point, you can't really worry about the score. You just need to worry about the clock and putting up as many points as possible with the time that you have left. Like you've been saying, Fordham's season is on the line here. It could be the final 7:48 of the 2024-25 campaign for the Rams, but I expect them to lay it all on the floor, because that's what this team has done all year this year. The Fordham Rams have left it all out there on the court, and I expect nothing less from this group in the final 7:48.
Last Duquesne bucket from the field, 58 seconds left in the third quarter. Three-pointer from Matic made this game 64-35. The largest lead also for Duquesne all afternoon long, 29 points. Fordham slowly finding their way back. McConnell breaking the press with an outlet pass to Matic in the front court. Matic gets it back to McConnell, deep right wing. Duquesne to put the final nail in the coffin. Needs some McConnell scoring here down the stretch. McConnell, right corner. Kiaku driving from the corner all the way to the left block. Pass to the left corner. Matic, no good off back rim. And Moore's there on the defensive glass. Another stop for Fordham. They're coming the other way offensively.
Fordham needs quick buckets on the offensive side.
Top of the arc three, no good for Shea Harris. On the offensive glass, Caleb Berry is there to put it back. Fordham out hustling Duquesne right now, and you can see it on the scoreboard. McConnell getting it ahead with a long pass to Hutchinson up ahead. Kiaku, left corner three, no good off right side of the rim. Moore is there to rebound it. Shea Harris directing the offense. Pass to Rose Nelson. Rose Nelson dribble handoff, top of the key. Donaldson takes the step back three, no good off the back right part of the rim, and it's going to be McConnell on the defensive glass and pushing it for Duquesne. McConnell stopping at the left wing, right to left crossover into the lane, losing it, getting it back, putting it up, no good on the layup, and it's going to be a foul. A foul called on the official all the way deep on the right wing. That's going to go against Fordham, and a lot of frustration from the Rams out there on the floor.
And understandably so, considering the run that they've been on to start this quarter. Now a 9-0 open to the fourth for Fordham, as it seems Emma Wilson-Saltos getting ready to check in after these McConnell free throws. Got to hope for at least one miss here at the line from McConnell.
Yeah, definitely.
Fordham's gotten pretty lucky on the past couple possessions in terms of the looks that Duquesne's been getting. The last time was actually a wide open three for Journey Kiaku that Morua left her wide on the right wing, but she missed. This time, though, Fordham can't get away with a stop without fouling.
That one is good. McConnell getting Duquesne a 22-point lead, 66-44, 6.5 to go in this fourth quarter.
There's some swaps for Duquesne. Hutcherson and Kyaku both take a seat. Brown comes back out.
Shea Harris from the right wing. Nice bounce pass inside to Giles Jones, who finishes it on the rim. More efficient offensive work here from the Rams. They now have it within 20, 66-46. Just over 6 minutes to go. Brown has it on the right wing for Duquesne. Picks up a double team and forces her head coach, Dan Burt, to take a timeout. Timeout, Duquesne. Fordham building some momentum, maybe the first momentum they've had all afternoon long.
And Duquesne is doing their best to try and stifle that momentum, really snuff out any signs of life that the Fordham Rams are showing. But, you know, it should be said, this was a 30-point game just a few minutes ago. Now it's down to 20. Fordham battling to get it under 20, and if they can do that in the next minute with 6:03 left on the clock, if they can get within 20 before 5 minutes to go, I think the door will be slightly ajar.
The door's open.
It's certainly open right now. It's closing rapidly, but as Fordham continues to put together some plays on offense, string a couple passes together. We saw Emma Wilson-Saltos under the basket receiving a nice bounce pass. And so Fordham just needs more stops connected with more quick transition buckets.
It's been almost 5 minutes of game time since Duquesne has had a bucket from the floor. That's going to be a foul top of the arc on Camila DePool, inflicted on Brown. It'll stay with Duquesne. Matic three with a minute left in the third quarter. Last bucket for Duquesne, currently sitting at exactly 6 minutes left to go in this fourth quarter. If there was a gap in the offensive explosion for this Duquesne team for Fordham to exploit, it's right now. Out of the right wing, another foul on the floor. That one will be on DePool. Fordham once again. And another inbound from McConnell right in front of her own bench and her head coach, Dan Burt.
And I believe that is the third foul of the quarter for Fordham. So getting close to running out of fouls to give here.
Right corner, bullet pass. Pump fake from Kyaku, driving inside, finishing at the rim, plus the foul. Kyaku pump faking in the left corner, the three, putting it on the floor and scoring from the baseline. More impressive work from Kyaku. She's had a fantastic afternoon. Now 15 points.
Make that 17.
17.
Shout out the live stats.
Shout out to live stats with a chance at 18 at the line.
Yeah, 8 for 11 from the floor is Kyaku today. She's so good at picking her shots, Chris. Really doesn't take many shots that are wild or out of the ordinary. And she's very confident when she pulls up. We saw the pull-up jumper earlier from the short right side. Really just ice water in her veins when she decides to go up with the shot. And the percentage speaks for itself.
DePool, left wing. Guarded tightly by McConnell, driving inside, using the extra weight, finishing at the rim, and it's going to be an offensive foul. That foul is going to go on a Fordham offensive player, I believe, either Emma Wilson-Saltos or Renee Mora. Emma Wilson-Saltos shook up after the play, holding her right ankle under the basket. Team trainer out there on the floor, giving her some assistance. She fell hard. She seems to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah, Morwa and Emma Wilson-Saltos got tangled up under the basket at the end of that play. Morwa went to the ground, obviously, but when Wilson-Saltos went to the ground, seemingly flailed all over the place, completely out of control of her own body. It's probably the reason why she's now going to take a seat on the bench and elevate that right leg as she gets looked at by the trainers. And we take a brief timeout on the floor.
Brief timeout on the floor, kind of sorting everything out. Of injury there for Wilson-Saltos. It's going to bring in Kayla Berry, the 5, standing in a team huddle on the court around their assistant coach. It's Rose Nelson, Renee Mora, Kayla Berry, Shea Harris, and Taylor Donaldson. That rounds out the 5 for the Rams. Camila DePool taking a seat after some productive offensive minutes. Taylor Donaldson still looking for that explosion she's been known for all season long. Just 8 points so far this afternoon. 3 of 15 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. The team high leader, Irene Morris, 16 points, 30 minutes of play, 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. A game high from Kyaku, specifically the North Carolina junior native, Journey Kyaku, with 18 points, 8 of 11 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3 in 24 minutes of play. It has been an explosion, not just from her, but from the rest of this Dukes team.
Chris, it really seems like for Fordham that they want desperately to go through Taylor Donaldson, especially down the stretch. And they've been able to go to her a lot this season. But at 3 for 15 from the floor, 2 for 6 from 3, I know Taylor Donaldson is a microwave because I've described her as so in the past, and she can get hot in absolutely no time. 0 to 60, less than 2 seconds. But at what point do you, as the Fordham Rams or as Coach Bridgette Mitchell, start to kind of look to your other players for scoring? Because, if Fordham lets Taylor Donaldson take another 5 or 6 shots in this game, on one hand, that'll be a majority of Fordham's possessions for the rest of the game, but you're kind of running the risk of putting the ball in a cold hand rather than a hotter hand, like Shea Harris heating up a little bit. Morwa's been good underneath, although Duquesne has done a great job of stifling her under the basket with their more sizable players. I just wonder where we will see the production for Fordham down the stretch here, if not from Donaldson, because seemingly the way this game has gone, Fordham may not be getting it from her.
Doesn't seem like they're going to be getting it from her. We talked about the importance of Mora before this game and her, I would say, presence down low. She's done that to a certain extent today, but it hasn't been consistent enough to keep this Fordham team in the game or anything like that as we've gone down the stretch. Fordham seems as in the game as they've ever been right now, and they're still trailing by 21 points.
It's going to be tough here, Chris. I can't lie. It's going to be 5:35 to go. 21 points they're down. Although I've seen some pretty ridiculous comebacks this year from this Fordham team. This is playoff basketball. The lights are the brightest that they're going to get, aside from the NCAA tournament, of course. And it'll be interesting to see if Fordham will rise to the occasion here. As Taylor Donaldson, does she just have her mask down right now? I think she does.
She does. She has it on still. It's going to be free throws from Brown of Duquesne. Duquesne trying to add on to their 21-point lead, 69-48, 5:35 to go in this fourth quarter. It's going to be Brown taking 2 at the line. First one, good. Nothing but net for Brown. Now 70-point total for Duquesne.
Brown was another big-time transfer, formerly the University of Indiana.
Fordham Rams haven't given up 70 points since February 16th against VCU. They've tried to limit the amount of points they give up all season long. Caleb Berry, top of the key jumper, no good. Rebound by Brown, and another miss for the Fordham Rams. Another wasted opportunity on the offensive end. Kyaku driving through the left side of the lane, back out to McConnell. They'll waste some time here. 5 minutes and counting on the fourth quarter clock. Brown in on the right block. Kyaku turnaround jumper, no good. It's going to be fought for. A loose ball picked up by Duquesne, and they get a shot off. No good on the shot, but a foul is called, and Duquesne's hustle continuing to pay off this afternoon.
Yeah, Rose Nelson picking up the foul there for the Rams. She jumped just a tad bit early going up for that block and makes some contact on the way back down. That's going to be a foul all day long. Foul on the shot, but it also puts Fordham into the bonus, puts Duquesne into the bonus. Fordham with the fouls to give Duquesne the bonus. So Fordham with no fouls to give down the stretch here. They're going to have to rely solely on defensive stops.
0 for 2 at the free throw line. Fordham now has it going the other way. Dribble handoff. Shea Harris, right wing. Top of the key, Taylor Donaldson. She drives to the left side of the lane. Stopping at the left elbow. Finishing plus the foul. TD doing TD things there. And she's got Fordham back within 21. 71-50. 4:46 to go in this fourth quarter with a chance at one free throw at the line.
There's the all A10 all-conference player for the second year in a row, Taylor Donaldson, knocking down the free throw for the three-point play.
Another full-court press here from the Rams. Duquesne gets it in and gets it ahead into the front court. To McConnell. Around the world to Brown. Brown looking back door, decides against it. To McConnell, left wing. Fakes left, goes right. Now at the top of the key. Moving back out, top of the arc. Between the circles, guarded by Kayla Berry, going right around a Brown screen, looking for the rolling Brown, holds onto it, pass in the left corner, pump faking Walker, takes the mid-ranger and hits. Faith Walker, the York native freshman, gets that one to go, and Duquesne back out to a 22-point lead, 73-51. Quick three attempt from Taylor Donaldson on the left wing, goes. Quick handoff by Rose Nelson, gets her an open shot, and she hits. Just over 4 minutes to go, 73-54 Duquesne. Another quick corner three. That one no good from the left corner off the left side of the rim. It's a loose ball. It'll go out of bounds off of Fordham, staying on this side with Duquesne. But Fordham trying to get defensive stops, trying to put together defensive stops.
And so close to a huge swing there was the Fordham Rams. Taylor Donaldson with a three-point play on the free throw and then a three-pointer, 6 straight points for her. And then Kayla Berry had the rebound in her hands down there after the missed three, but it goes out of bounds off of her hands and gives Duquesne the ball back.
Up top, Hutchinson. Pass in the left corner, Matich's three, it's good! Absolutely pure from Matic in the left corner, and that may have just been the nail in the Fordham's coffin. 76-54, 22-point lead for Duquesne, 3:26 to go in this fourth quarter. Time may have officially run out on the Fordham Rams. And that one, and one on the other end. Kiyaku stopping on a dime on the right block, receiving the contact, finishing anyway, plus the foul.
That's 20 points for Journey Kiyaku now, leading her team. 9 for 13 from the floor. She goes back to the line. She hit her only free throw earlier, another three-point play. That's Motawa's 4th foul of the afternoon, so foul trouble for Fordham's leading scorer. Well, it should be mentioned Taylor Donaldson is up to 14 points now, so she may overtake Motawa soon here, especially the way things have been going. She's been heating up a little bit, but time's certainly not on Fordham's side. They still trail by 25 with just under 3:30.
Megan McConnell subbing out there, receiving a standing ovation from the Duquesne faithful behind the bench. Journey Kiyaku, 20 points, as Tucker said. She has a season high at 24. That was in November, a long time ago. Mora on the second chance opportunity on the offensive end. Finishes for the Rams, plus the foul. Irene Mora with the chance to complete the three-point play at the line. 79-56, Duquesne, 3:05 to go in this fourth quarter.
So remember what I said, Chris, before the 5-minute mark in this game, that if Fordham could get to within 20 before 5 minutes, that the door would be open. But as we stand now, it's 3:05. Mora was at the line, and she's shooting to make it a 25-point game. Or, excuse me, 22.
Mora gets the free throw to go. Kiyaku, last time she scored 20 points in a game this season for Duquesne. 4 days after Christmas, December 29th against Davidson. That was right at the beginning of A10 play, and what a time to have that sort of offensive performance again. Long one-armed Matic pass into the front court, seemingly goes right into the arms of Walker. Walker pass in front of her to Kiyaku. She can't finish at the rim. Fordham coming quickly the other way. Shea Harris at the left wing, stopping. Hit by a double-teaming Kiyaku, and it's going to be a foul on Duquesne.
Foul on the floor is relatively inconsequential for Duquesne. Fordham still not in the bonus yet. Duquesne with only 4 fouls, so it'll be an inbound for Shea Harris.
Shea Harris inbounding right in front of her head coach. Coach Brissette Mitchell not happy, understandably. Taylor Donaldson moving right around to Kayla Berry's screen. Now Shea Harris has it top of the arc. Faking around the screen right, going left, taking a three, no good. Kayla Berry there on the offensive glass. Gets it to Taylor Donaldson somehow, who finishes on the floater. What a web gym play from the Fordham Rams.
That play was absolutely ridiculous. Kayla Berry facing the wall, moving out of bounds, throws it straight behind her over her head to the outstretched arm. Full extension from Taylor Donaldson to reel that one in and go up for the easy two.
2:22 to go in this fourth quarter, and possibly the Fordham Rams season. 79-59, 20-point Duquesne lead. 2:15 to go. Matic, right wing three, no good. She's been so effective from that area all day. Couldn't make that one, but a foul on the floor on Fordham, and it's going to be Duquesne ball. Or actually, no, it's going to go the other way. It's going to be a foul on Duquesne. Fordham will have free throws being in the bonus. And it'll be Kayla Berry going to the line.
Yeah, so that's Duquesne's fifth foul of the quarter. Kayla Berry goes to the line. She could bring Fordham within 20, although 3 minutes late, according to my request from earlier to the Fordham Rams. And she knocks the first one down.
Berry shooting 76% on the year, 39 for 51. Berry, the Brooklyn native, gets that one to go as well. Berry, just a sophomore, a lot more college basketball to be played. Another young player subbing in for her, Anastasia Veljovic. Veljovic has dealt with left knee injuries all season long, but in her freshman season, she's made a hell of an impact. Hell of an impact there. Taylor Donaldson with a steal and finish on the other end. She's got Fordham back within 20. It's 79-63, just under 2 minutes to go.
And that was identical to the steal and bucket that she got earlier.
Yeah, exactly
so
the same.
Still doing everything she can to try and bring Fordham back into this game. 16-point deficit now.
McConnell has it deep on the left wing, now picking up the double team. In the left corner, Walker, skip pass. Kiaku driving baseline, then takes it back out. Taking Donaldson straight on, going inside, got past Donaldson, got met with Rose Nelson, who completely stopped her at the rim. Out of bounds, staying with Duquesne on the baseline.
Another good defensive possession there from Rose Nelson, forcing Journey Kiaku out of bounds, or forcing the ball out of bounds, rather.
McConnell in the right corner, one-armed three at the end of the shot clock, doesn't go. Taylor Donaldson pushing it with speed the other way. Kick out, left corner, Veljovic three, no good, but a foul. Foul there. Tucker Austin having to do some more defense.
I'm telling you, man,
once again.
Defensive player of the year is coming.
Kid is just aware. Nonetheless, it's going to be Anastasia Veljovic at the line for three, I believe.
Yeah, no, it's going to be two, according to the in-arena announcer and the referees.
The Anastasia Veljovic among three other Fordham Rams wearing breast cancer awareness Kobe 8 low-top sneakers. They're a fantastic look as Veljovic misses the first there. Nice to see teams match sometimes as well on the feet. The Duquesne band chanting they want someone on the Duquesne bench. Can't quite make out who they're saying, a little far away, but Duquesne having some fun at Fordham's expense. Matic faking the dribble handoff to McConnell. Now giving the dribble handoff, Kiaku right wing. A fake dribble handoff, has it top of the arc. Kiaku continuing the dribble. Just over 1 minute to go. 79-63 Duquesne lead. Brown. Back to top of the arc, Kiaku. Kiaku driving inside, getting defenders to jump, doesn't get the shot to go. And it's going to be moved the other way. Donaldson. Pass to Shea Harris, her left wing three, no good. Harris getting her own miss, going to the rim, missing on the right-handed layup. McConnell fighting with Veljovic on the ground for the ball. McConnell making sure Veljovic is okay under her. Nice sportsmanship there. McConnell, a slight limp after that one, a noticeable limp after that one. She'll sub out of this one once again. And with exactly 37 seconds left in this fourth quarter, it seems Fordham's time has ran out, Tucker.
I love the effort from the freshman Anastasia Veljovic for the Fordham Rams, battling for that loose ball with Megan McConnell, forcing the jump ball, even with the circumstances, like I mentioned before, leaving everything out there on the court, are the Fordham Rams. Time was just not their friend in the second half, although it was a much better fourth quarter for the Fordham Rams. Their 28 points actually ties Duquesne's total from the first quarter and the most in a quarter in this game. But unfortunately for the Fordham Rams, it's been 2 quarters with just 7 points, that being the first and the third quarter.
And I know what I told you earlier about assumptions and what happens when you make assumptions, but I think it's pretty safe to assume now Duquesne will be playing tomorrow. They will be playing the 1 seed, Richmond. The Richmond Spiders, that one is at 11 a.m., same time as the game today, just 24 hours later. Richmond 17-1 in the A10. Their only loss coming to the Fordham Rams. That was the day after New Year's Day, the second conference game of Richmond's season. They had a 80-78 loss in the Rose Hill Gym to the Fordham Rams. They will try to take that 1 seed all the way to a possible berth in the NCAA tournament. And Duquesne, after the compounding momentum of a win today, will try to continue this storybook story all the way to a possible NCAA tournament run, as Caleb Berry is at the free throw line for 2.
And I talked to you about this before the game a little bit, Chris. I think that, this Duquesne team, Megan McConnell will really take this team as far as she wants to take them. And that goes for the A10 tournament. That goes for maybe winning the A10 and going to March Madness. McConnell is just such a great all-around player and such a great leader of a basketball team. She's one of those players that you can really you can look to, and really you can ask her to lead, and the rest of the team will follow.
Yeah. It seems Fordham is running, and has run out of time. It's a timeout by Duquesne and Coach Dan Burt. Fordham with just 25 seconds left on their season. Coach Brissette Mitchell in her second year at the helm of this Fordham program. Fordham under exceeding expectations last year, improving this season in a big way. Coach Brissette Mitchell getting more of her recruits into the program. That, along with players from beforehand as well, a big group all coming together, and this Fordham team has had some lows this season, including this one, but has had some highs, and there's a lot to build on if you're Coach Brissette Mitchell going into next season with this program.
I'm going to use an absolutely classic turn of phrase, Chris.
Why not?
Rome was not built in a day.
Nope.
And this Fordham Rams team, if you want to compare it to Rome, Brissette Mitchell, this is the end of her second season. They improved their record from last year coming into this year. They also outperformed their preseason conference prediction by 1 position. So really,
I prefer the Rose Hill to the Coliseum, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Just personally.
Yes. It's our Coliseum. But I really think this Fordham team has done a great job all season. Despite falling short a little bit here, I still think they can be proud of the season that they put together, especially you mentioned that win over Richmond. So huge. The only team in the A10 to get to the 1 seed. So certainly things to hang their hats on here at the end of the season.
And it's going to be dribbled out for a long time by Duquesne. Toward the end of the clock, a shot attempt was taken. It's a foul on Fordham. It'll stay on this side, on the left side of the court. Just 7.7 left on the clock. 79-63, a decisive win for the Dukes of Duquesne.
Fordham did all they could to battle back. I mean, Duquesne came out. They came out so hungry in the start of the first half. I mean, 48 points between the first and second quarter. We already mentioned that was the most that Fordham has given up in a half all season. And things slowed down a little bit in terms of scoring for Duquesne, but still very consistent. And it was a design ramping down of the offense by Duquesne. They were in complete control of themselves and of the pace of the game today. And it's the reason why Fordham still finds themselves down.
timeout there from Fordham with 6.8 left on the clock. Coach Brissette Mitchell trying to milk every second of this season left. We'll take a little break, send it back to the Rose Hill Studios. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
And that's it. The Fordham 24-25 season comes to an end. Duquesne, the Dukes of Duquesne, with a decisive 79-63 victory over the Fordham Rams. Tucker, it started from the very beginning of this game, a dominance from the Dukes that simply Fordham just couldn't match. It was the Dukes. It was the Dukes.
I mean, if you want to think of it in terms of a fight, imagine these two fighters walked into the ring and then Duquesne took about the biggest haymaker that you could possibly throw against the Fordham Rams, and it had Fordham against the ropes for the rest of the day. There's not really much more you can do if you're the Fordham Rams against such a complete onslaught from Duquesne, other than just try to come out of the half and put something together, work your way back into the game. Fordham certainly did that to an extent, although that third quarter they come out and offensively it was identical, actually, we can say. Identical performance in the third quarter offensively as it was in the first for Fordham. Just 7 points in the first and in the third. That's 2 entire quarters where you're only getting 14 points. Meanwhile, Duquesne scored more than 14 points in every single quarter. So not a recipe for success at all, but still, I think this game, Fordham showed a lot of heart and a lot of fight to still be competing at the level that they were when they were down 30 at the half. Just shout out to the Fordham Rams for a really, really a good season, a solid season that they put together. I certainly had a lot of fun getting to call a bunch of their games this year and getting to travel all over the place.
Your first
with them.
A10 as well, as is mine.
Yeah, first A10 tournament for us, and the result isn't there, obviously, but I think there was a lot of fight and a lot of heart shown today, and especially just from Fordham's best players. And I mean, you're losing Taylor Donaldson, she's graduating, and then Morwa, one of the seniors, they're losing Taya Davis, of course, also on her way out. But Donaldson and Morwa, who else to lead the scoring? It was 19 points for Morwa, 18 points for Taylor Donaldson. But also a little shout out to Shea Harris with 8 off the bench. She got a little hot from 3 at times in this game. But, Chris, you look at, I think you can really just look at the turnovers, and you can see where things kind of went wrong for the Fordham Rams. Although Duquesne actually had more turnovers at the end of the game than Fordham, that's not indicative of how the early part of this game went. The turnover differential was so in Duquesne's favor through the first 20 minutes of play that it left Fordham in a hole that was just impossible to dig out of.
Impossible to dig out of. A productive season for the Fordham Rams and a disappointing end. Fordham's season ends in the second round of the A10 championship after a monster loss to Duquesne. The Duquesne Dukes will head into tomorrow, playing at the same time, 11 a.m., and they'll play the 1 seed, the Richmond Spiders. As I said, that one is at 11 a.m.
But Richmond is very happy that Fordham is not in this bracket anymore.
Yeah, the only
team, say that much.
The only team to beat Richmond in the conference all season long, and now they have been cleared out of the way. Duquesne stands in Richmond's way now for not only this game, but this season. It has been a fantastic season, not only on the air, but off the air. So many tremendous experiences, so many tremendous moments throughout this season. I want to thank, of course, Tucker Austin, my partner, for being here, not only just today, but throughout this entire season. We got Caleb Stein on production, doing the majority of our production work throughout this women's basketball season. He's been fantastic. Kurt Sippel and Will Talent also producing throughout the season.
And, of course, Lou Orlando, our boss, is in studio, along with Madi Dembele. Madi Dembele, another color commentary partner I've had this season. The other color commentary people I've had this season, Griff Stevenson, Kurt Sippel, obviously Tucker, Madi Dembele, and Ben Oppenheimer, all really helping and making this system, this machine that we have move.
I want to shout out Joe Henry, too, over
shout
in
out
London. Because
across the pond,
he's
Joe
been
Henry.
making all of the graphics for the social media posts so far this season, and I also worked with him on a game way back last year, the Fordham versus Manhattan game. So that was a fun time, of course, and yeah, I just want thanks to everybody across the board, pretty much, that was put this season together in terms of the broadcasts, and thanks to the Fordham Rams for giving us a really, really, I would say, entertaining season to be here to call. And, of course, we can't forget Bobby Chaffardini, of course, our sports director at WFUV.
Our sports director, the man who makes it all happen, Bobby Chaffardini. We do not take the opportunity to travel, the opportunity to call these games. We don't take any of it for granted, and we're forever grateful for these opportunities. We're going to send it back one more time to a few of those gentlemen we just mentioned. Of course, Stein on production, and our one-on-one post-game report with host Madi Dembele and, of course, our boss Lou Orlando. Take it away, guys. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It's been a fantastic season.
The one-on-one post-game report.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the adage is all's well that ends well.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm not the best with those, but that's going to do it from Henrico, Virginia. The Fordham Rams, they go ahead and they fall against the Duquesne Dukes. That's going to do it for this season. And again, I just want to express much of the same sentiments as the other gentleman there. It's been a fantastic season. Lou Orlando, the gentleman to my left, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity in calling a wonderful season. I mean, I've had the most fun I've could ever have. I'm probably going to remember this as I soar off into the rest of my career for the rest of my life. This is going to be the basis of where it all started for hopefully an illustrious broadcasting career for me. But that's enough about me. 79-63. The Duquesne Dukes getting their lick back. Third time is indeed the charm against the Fordham Rams. And it's a complete game, Lou. I don't know what else to say from wire to wire. Again, Tucker Austin said it on the broadcast, not a single quarter scoring less than 14. It's been a myriad of different names. Meg McConnell, Kiaku Brown, as we said before. Everybody got in on the action, and just a complete basketball game by the Dukes.
They brought it.
Yeah.
And you know what? They lose the first two games in this series between Fordham and Duquesne, but they win the one that mattered.
Yeah.
They win the one in the A10 tournament, and they win it decisively. 79-63, and even that, it took 28 points by Fordham in the fourth quarter and outscoring Duquesne by 13 to cut into the deficit like that. They were in complete control. They were in the driver's seat, and they were far and away the better team today. I love what Tucker said at the end of that broadcast. This Duquesne team can go as far as Megan McConnell is able to take them. When you look at her stat line, it's so indicative of everything she's done this year in the A10, the reason why she's a first-team all-conference player and the defensive player of the year. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 steals. I think she is the embodiment of a complete player.
Yeah.
She's a guard, but she does it all. She really is. There are a couple players that have really stood out in my time covering the A10. She is one of them, and I do wonder. I know that there aren't a ton of teams in the WNBA comparatively to the NBA, and there's 3 rounds in that draft.
Yeah.
I wonder whether she falls in the third round or if there's a chance she can get signed undrafted. You wonder, between the fact that she's got some NBA blood with the older brother TJ, just what she's able to do as a complete basketball player, I wonder if someone's going to take a flyer on her because she is a game changer.
We talked about it. I mean, I had the opportunity to talk about it with Andrew Posadas and Andrew Bogish, 2 Fordham alumni here. We were talking about it. We were like, she could be a sneaky third-round pick.
She's really, really gifted athletically.
Yeah.
She really is, and she does everything well. And that's what you need to do. When you talk about people that make it to the next league, when we talk about off-air, we're talking about some of the men's stars that we've seen in the A10 that have made it to the NBA. A lot of times it's, you've got some scoring ability, but you're not a one-faceted player. You're able to do a lot of different things well, and she is a Swiss Army knife in every sense of the word. That is one of the best efforts I've seen from Duquesne this year, and Dan Burt had them ready to go. I think credit where credit is due. Duquesne came out ready to play. They brought the energy, they brought the intensity, and they took advantage of a Fordham team that came out flat, probably had one of their worst first quarters of the season. And even though it's true, they do rebound. When you put yourself in a 21-point hole, you're going to be digging the rest of the game, and they never really could get out from under that.
Duquesne basketball, ladies and gentlemen, you look around and it's numbers galore. Kaiko, as we said before, 21 points. McConnell with 17. Matic also big time from 3 for her. If I'm not mistaken here, it says she went 5 for 8 from 3. I thought that was field goal. Yeah, 5 for 8 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3. And they're going to get rid of the Fordham Rams, who in the second half, you like the output that they're getting. You like what they're giving you. It's just too little too late. Irina Murwa shows up late. Taylor Donaldson shows up late. Shea Harris hits a couple of big-time threes. Veljovic, with her hustle effort there. You see all types of players getting a little bit of burn, trying to contribute. And I have to be proud. I have to be proud as someone who got to watch them close up. I know the heart of a Fordham. It's crazy what heart and how far it could bring you, Orlando. It's crazy. You talked about in the first half, you just have to play with your emotions on the sleeve, and they cut the deficit to 16, and they made it interesting throughout, but too little, too late. But that is no reason to hang your head. A fantastic season by them.
And it's going to put a capper on what was fantastic careers for Donaldson and Emroar.
Yeah.
And as graduate students coming to this program, Donaldson the last 2 and more, this her last sends off her last season of her D1 career. Moore 19 and Donaldson in a game where she probably would say herself didn't have her best game, just still finished with 18 points.
Look at that.
Taylor Donaldson's going to go down as one of the better women's basketball players Fordham has seen in this century. Yeah. And there are a lot of them. This is a team that's won 2 titles in the 2010s that boasted Anna DeWolf, who went on to play at Notre Dame. I'll say this, Taylor Donaldson could have played in the Power 5.
Yes,
could have been an impact player in the Power 5. Chose to stay here another year. Got all conference honors and was really a phenomenal player for the last 2 years. But I think when you look at Coach Mitchell and this staff, and they're going to bring in 3 freshmen next year, don't be surprised. I mean, this is Mitchell's style anyway, but don't be surprised if there's a chip on her shoulder, because this is now back-to-back seasons where I think Fordham really disappointed in the A10 tournament.
Yeah.
And they haven't won a game in the A10 tournament over the last 3 seasons. So I think back-to-back years where Coach Mitchell's squad has looked unprepared and not sharp in a tournament game against the team that they could have beaten. So expect some extra motivation and some extra focus next year.
Yeah.
It's tough way for Coach Mitchell to open her postseason career with the Rams.
Yeah, but if I know one thing about head coach Bridgette Mitchell, she digs in her crawl. Diamonds either you either produce diamonds or you fold, and she can produce diamonds. So next year is a fresh year for the Fordham Rams. Again, another solid performance from them, 79-63. The Rams fall. That's going to do it on the women's basketball season. I have been Madi Dembele, joined here by Lou Orlando. Caleb Stein is on the boards. Once again, ladies, great job. Taylor Donaldson, Irina Murwa, everything in the world to be proud of. Bobby Chaffardini is the sports director here at WFUV Sports, and women's basketball is a production of WFUV Sports.